take-home popcorn trays with sealed homemade popcorn, drinks and sweets, plus other take-home cinematic treats. Pre-order yours via messenger, email or by calling Eclipse Cinemas Lifford Strabane.
Greg's hope that feeder there. Come here. You mean business today? You're fairly slurping that cup of coffee in?
Yeah, it's business stuff time now, yeah. Time to put the big boy pants on, Lee.
Oh, how big is your pants?
Big boy size.
I bet you mine's bigger than yours. Pants is, that's a wild thing to be saying. I mean pants.
Right, you're looking forward to tonight?
Yeah, I told Wheelie I'm going to get a gluten-free pizza and we're going to sit up and watch the late. So I don't know if Noah it'd be probably a bit too late for him, 9:30.
I think it is a late start, isn't it? Which is a little unfortunate because I think an awful lot of parents will be sitting there in their Christmas pyjamas watching it by themselves with sleeping children covered in popcorn.
Yeah, he'd be nudging them. Come on, watch this. This is a good part. You know what I mean? Sure, it's great. Sure.
Yeah, it's a bit of crack, isn't it?
Have a good weekend.
All right, Lee. Have a great weekend yourself. Look forward to seeing you on Monday, okay? It's the 9 till noon show just around the corner. Let's get a news update first, though, and it's over to Donna Marie Doherty.
Thanks, Greg. Good morning. 34 people have been arrested in connection with the violence in Dublin City last night. The Garda Commissioner says thousands of hours of video and CCTV footage will be analysed in order to identify the people involved. The scenes followed a stabbing incident in Parnell Square earlier yesterday afternoon, in which a 5-year-old girl and a woman in her 30s were seriously injured. Commissioner Drew Harris insists the Garda response was not a failure.
We have seen a group of people who take literally a thimble full of facts and make a bathtub of assumptions, hateful assumptions, and then conduct themselves in a way which is riotous and disruptive to our society. We then have to respond to that in terms of our tactics and training. But there's no failure here. There's no failure. This is regrettably how protests have moved on, and now we have to graduate and have a proportionate response.
The Education Minister has extended her support to the victims of yesterday's stabbing. Minister Norma Foley says a number of measures are in place to support the school and those connected to the incident.
Our school psychologists will work with the schools as long as the schools will need it. All of our schools across the country will have what's called a critical incident plan. We would hope that they would never ever have to invoke that, but in instances like occurred yesterday, the critical incident plan is invoked. And over the coming days, there will be a critical incident management team within the school, and NEPs will work to support them, to support the children.
Police in Derry are investigating a burglary within the area of Drumleck Gardens in the city. It's believed to have occurred between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. on Wednesday last. Those who noticed any suspicious activity or vehicles in the area or have any information relating to the matter are asked to contact 101. Meanwhile, the officers from the Foyle side and the Moore neighbourhood policing team carried out a road safety operation with the Driver and Vehicle Agency as part of ongoing road safety efforts. A number of offences were detected surrounding vehicles' roadworthiness. As a result, approximately 20 fixed penalty notices were issued. Officers also spoke with several taxi drivers during the evening operation and conducted compliance checks. All was found to be in order of respect of most of these vehicles. However, inquiries are being made in respect of 6 vehicles who are believed to be operating as illegal taxis. A further 2 vehicles, also suspected to be operating as an illegal taxi, were seized. Looking now to the weather, a cold and somewhat cloudy start this morning, but it's mostly dry. The cloud will gradually break up, with sunny spells developing by this afternoon. A cool northerly breeze will mean temperatures will struggle with highs of just 6 to 9 degrees. That's all for now from Highland Radio News. The next news update's at 10 o'clock. In the meantime, keep up to date with the latest local news on our website, highlandradio.com. From myself and the news team, good morning.
The Euro Millions Mega Draw is back, and it's a biggie. It's actually the biggest ever. On Friday the 1st of December, the Euro Millions jackpot will be a guaranteed €200 million. It's just too big to miss.
The National Lottery. It could be you. Play responsibly. Play for fun.
The county's #1 talk show, The 9 till noon show on Highland Radio. And now it's time for the talk of the Northwest, The 9 to noon show with Greg Hughes on Highland Radio.
Hello and a very good morning. It's just turned 4 minutes past 9 on this Friday, the 24th of November 2023, and you're very welcome along to the 9 till noon show. And we have a very busy programme as always for you today. Coming up after 10 o'clock, we'll have a conversation with the Health Minister Stephen Donnelly, who is in Donegal to turn the sod on Letterkenny's new community hospital, also to meet with GPs and consultants. So we'll be talking about that a little in this hour as well. That's entertainment, comes up after 11. Sean Quinn's back in studio again as well for an exciting launch from us here at Highland as we lead up to Christmas. That and so much more besides. But we begin, as we always do on a Friday, with our Friday panel, where we run through some of the big stories of the day and week. Can we say good morning first to Micheál Colm of Gallinasberg? Thank you so much for joining us, Micheál Colm. How are you keeping? Good to have you with us. Michael White of the Green Party, the chair, in fact, of the Green Party here in Donegal. Michael, great to have you back on the show.
Imagine Mike, Greg, good to be back.
And last but not least, of course, Declan Meehan, community campaigner. Hi, Declan.
Good morning.
Great to have you on the show. Right, a 5-year-old girl remains in a critical condition in hospital following an attack outside a school in Parnell Square in Dublin yesterday afternoon. 2 other children and a carer for the children also sustained injuries in the stabbing incident. A 6-year-old girl's being treated for head injuries and is due to undergo surgery, while a 5-year-old boy who suffered minor physical injuries has been discharged from hospital. The children's carer remains in a serious condition in hospital, though we understand her condition has improved somewhat overnight. The suspect for the attack was wounded and remains under guard in hospital this morning. He's an Irish national who moved here over 20 years ago, though what can be said in relation to an alleged perpetrator in a crime like this is very little because of due process and all that type of stuff. People might not like it, but it is what it is. Declan, I'll start with you, that's okay. And we'll move on to what we saw in Dublin last night, but and maybe it's just an instinctive response to me, but I just feel like I woke up this morning or went to bed last night in a kind of like a different Ireland, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I think that what we saw yesterday from start to finish was just an absolute disgrace. The attack on small children outside an inner city school, very, very young people, young kids, was just chilling. And to see and to hear about that really was very disturbing. And obviously what followed thereafter, I guess, was, disgraceful in a different way. And I think that when we are reading about everything that happened today, I think it's very important to reflect on the fact that the thugs and criminals and far-right people who lined the streets last night to wreak havoc on our capital city under a false pretense of patriotism do not reflect who we are as a country and do not reflect Dublin as it is as a city. And in fact, it's the people who rushed to the aid of the children to protect them that reflect who we are as a country and who Dublin is as a city. You had Dubliners of all nationalities, by the way, rushing to children's aid to apprehend the perpetrator of the crime, and also just random people who were walking by on the street trying to circle children to protect them. They didn't know those children. The Deliveroo biker from Brazil who apprehended the stabber didn't know those children. And it's that which reflects who we are as a society, not those people who took to the streets last night in a disgraceful and disgusting display of thuggery.
Well, we'll talk about... someone feel the two events are separate, but obviously they are linked. Okay, I get that. Michael White, I'll come to you just in relation to the awful experience that those children, their care and onlookers went through yesterday. It's just horrendous, isn't it?
It is, but just to reiterate what Declan was saying, that the fact that there's far right writers try to link their actions to what happened prior to that, it's kind of knocked on the head. But as you said, there was a Brazilian delivery driver that stepped in and arguably saved lives, and also the lady that was attending the Stardust inquiry that crossed the street. Like most of us would try to avoid trouble, she crossed the street, and I think with an American tourist, they helped to protect the attacker to make sure. And she said the quote she had said is, "We're not savages in this country," when she was making sure the crowd didn't go for the attacker. So there were some admirable things that happened yesterday. The riots afterwards, it'll take a while to unpick a lot of this stuff. You were saying you feel like you woke up in a different country. This has been brewing for a while, and I think there were protests around East Wall earlier this year. Like, the same people seem to be in the background manipulating things. There's a few other points, and I think all of us are just thinking this through. But one of the other points is the kids that are rioting. They're not university students living in Dundrum or Foxrock. It's happening in a particular part of Dublin that's had really serious issues earlier this year. But there's a bunch of things that part of Dublin needs to be focused on. Another issue is that there weren't sufficient Gardaí, and there aren't sufficient Gardaí in that part of Dublin. It took 5 minutes, I think, before the Gardaí arrived at the scene of the attack. There needs to be more Gardaí. If you go to cities like Lisbon, you feel safe walking around. Nobody feels safe walking around Marlborough Street or Talbot Street in that part of Dublin. So that's definitely, so there's a bunch of things happening here. The guys that are writing, it's related to the area that they're from. As I say, so they're not doing it in nice areas like Foxrock or Dundrum. It's similar in some ways. We had it locally here, rioting in Derry, the time that Lyra McKee was killed. That wasn't kids in a nice part of Derry. That was kids from a fairly tough area. So that needs to be looked at. Just a bunch of issues. It's depressing, but it needs to be nailed on the head. Ireland hasn't changed, but it needs to be. We need to make sure it doesn't change. The guys that are stirring this crap up need to be caught and arrested. And it's closer to home than this as well.
Yeah, just put you up we'll come back to that. But just put you up there on the areas that this is coming from. Like, that deserves a little bit more explanation, because they're the areas perhaps most underserved by the government that your party is a member of. I mean, that's what you're not talking about just because someone's from a certain area that they act in a certain way, are you?
No, I'm not. But I'm saying that from parts of Dublin, like what you call areas of deep social economic deprivation, where I think there was more than 40 people died of heroin overdoses in Dublin in the last few weeks, which barely hit the headlines. These parts of the city have really issues, and it's not unconnected. The most of the people partaking in those riots last night are coming from those areas, and there's a linkage there. I'm not using it as a justification. I'm not saying I understand it or approve it, but there is a connection of some sort. And if we want to make sure that this doesn't get worse, we need to address that. Okay. Simply arresting people and throwing them in the chokey isn't going to sort this out. But in addition to understanding this or trying to investigate it, we need more Gardaí. That would have made things a lot simpler last night, but there's a lot more Gardaí on the street. All right, we'll come back to that, and I'll come to you, Micheál Collum. This is just an accident of timing. Adrian Weckler is a tech editor with the Irish and Sunday Independent, and I'm not sure if you've had any sleep, Adrian, because I know you were on 5 Live last night and numerous other stations since, so I appreciate your time. You've lived in London for decades. You've lived in Dublin for decades. You've never seen anything like this. How can you describe what you witnessed, or how do you describe it? Sorry.
Yeah, it was chaos. So I spent most of the time, I spent several hours in and around the area around O'Connell Street, which, as everyone knows, is the main street in Dublin, and that's where that was just adjacent to Parnell Square, where the stabbing incident happened. And I got on the scene at about 6 o'clock, and there was already quite a lot of tension there. There was a crowd that had gathered, and it was clear that there could be trouble. Then, over the next half an hour to 45 minutes, the crowd got bigger and bigger and bigger. More and more people were arriving. Most of them seemed to be young men between the ages of 17, 21, 22, that kind of age group. Many of them had scarves around their faces. And what happened next was it just all kicked off. Things started to be attacked. Looting started. Windows were smashed. I was standing in Parnell Street beside a couple of Garda cars, and a couple of the young lads started to attack the Garda cars, and one guy got a burning cardboard box, opened the back of the Garda car and threw the burning box in. So the whole car went up in flames. There were people in apartments right beside that burning car. They looked very, very concerned. Finally, the Gardaí came and they charged the street, and the mob was sent down Marlborough Street towards Brewer Street. So what was happening was one street would be wrecked, and then the guards turned up. They moved the mob to another street. They would kind of wreck that street as well. I saw the same thing from Parnell Street happened in Brewer Street, then in Abbey Street, all the way down on the south side through the other end of Temple Bar to Parliament Street, which was semi-ablaze by the time I got down there an hour and a half later. So I've never seen anything like that in Dublin. Obviously, we're all aware.
Did you sort of get the impression from what were motivating these people that it was in response to what happened earlier, or that effectively the keg had been lit and it was an opportunity for antisocial behaviour? Because I think there's an interesting distinction there.
The majority of what I people involved in the attacks was more the latter scenario. It felt more opportunistic than. To be clear, there was some political chanting, particularly at the beginning when I got there, and there did seem to be elements there who were seeking to stir things up with some political chanting, mostly of a far right nature. But subsequent to that, a lot of the young fellas I saw, like looting shops, they were laughing as they were doing it. It just seemed like a free hit on the city. I mean, it just seemed like the purge. It was a weird atmosphere happening, and I did see people go down injured. It didn't feel that individuals were especially. I didn't really feel that I was going to be attacked at any moment either, even though I was a journalist there. So it was a very, very serious. There was violence. It was objectively scary. There were a lot of things on fire. There was a lot of damage done, but it sort of felt like it was just puggery.
Okay, Adrian, listen, I won't hold you any longer. I know you've been very busy. Thank you for your time. We normally speak to Adrian on tech matters, but he was on scene for that yesterday. And Micheál Colm, I appreciate your patience. It was just when Adrian was available to us there. I want to bring you in now with your comments, if that's okay.
Yeah, good morning, my good Greg. Agus hello, the Michael Agus Declan, Jim Matashev. Look, first thing I'd say is I'm kind of bit out of touch a wee bit yesterday because I kind of missed a lot of this. A cousin of mine opened up his grandfather's bar last night, my uncle, and I kind of ended up missing a lot of this until I really came home last night and kind of went through some of it and trying to catch up early this morning, as I was saying to Caroline earlier. Shocking scenes in Dublin. An individual scumbag, irrelevant of where he's from, attack on children and other human beings is just, it just saddens me, it angers me. We've seen this over many, many years where men play out their hatred and rage at their partners and their children. We this is not something new to us. In terms of the way the attack was done, yes, it's certainly different compared to maybe a father drowning themselves with children and shooting and all that there that we've seen through the years, the violence against women and children. It's absolutely shocking and desperate, and that's a conversation that really needs to be had more. I've listened a lot after that poor jogger down in the Midlands was attacked, and how I was coming back from Dublin actually at a meeting in relation to the issue of race and racist attacks, and I was listening and horrified in terms of that court case and how these two journalists, was on, and they were talking about how everyday living for women and connecting that with children, and it's just desperate.
Okay, just on your point, because I know people will be texting in, and I do have to take a quick break, and we'll come back to this, but people would say, yes, of course, there has always been violence in this country, there's always been knife crime, there's always been this stuff has happened. But last night's incident, this is what some might say, and the conversation is happening around the place. Yesterday's incident may not have happened, or the awful murder of Aisling Murphy may not have happened if we had tighter border controls. Now, whether you like it or not, or whether I like it or not, that's the conversation, that's the point someone's going to put to you. Yes, there is a history of stuff. It happens all the time. But some of it could be avoidable, Micheál Collum, if we were a little bit more stringent on who we let into the country. That's the national conversation that's happening at the moment. What do you say to that?
I think, yes, that is the conversation that's happening right across the 26 counties right now. Of course, as that conversation is happening right across Europe, we've seen latest elections. We've seen
Holland,
borders being closed up in the eastern part or the northern part of the Europeans to Europe, to Russia. But we have to be realistic about this here, and we have to be realistic. It's only a number of years ago that an Irishman in Belgium set a woman on fire, dosed her in petrol. Does that mean that every single Irish person must be chased, born, or hammered out of Belgium? No, it doesn't reflect the reality that the vast majority of people who are here, and it does, and this is like a wet dream for the far right, what happened yesterday, unfortunately, because they've been waiting for the likes of this, but yet they refuse to march in terms of the child abuse that happens on a daily basis around our own communities. They refuse to march on houses that we know that women and children are being abused and battered. All you have to do is talk to the Women's Refuge in any part of our country, right across the whole 32. They refuse to talk about other issues that affect everyday living individuals and families. But what this is, like I says, is a wet dream for them, in the sense that they've been waiting for the likes of this attack. If this was an Irish person who done such horrific, horrific act, we would not have seen these scenes yesterday.
Okay.
And what has to be bared in mind, this certainly is being led by the far right. What their narrative, but their far right are not talking about the very fact that Carlos, this Brazilian man, if you want to use the word foreigner, to our country, intervened yesterday. The far right will not talk about this.
I'll come back on this issue. It's just the time of the year. I have to take these breaks. Stay where you are. I'll be back with more on this subject in 2 to 3 minutes.
The 9 till noon show with the Silver Tassie Hotel, the perfect venue for a Christmas get-together, serving festive lunch, afternoon tea, dinner and drinks throughout December. Follow Silver Tassie Hotel on Facebook and Instagram.
Have you got a one-for-all gift card that you've yet to spend? Now is the perfect time. Spend with any of our retail partners nationwide or online before December 31st, and you could win one of 3 €5,000 prizes. Simply spend your gift card and visit oneforall.ie/redeem for your chance to win. Terms and conditions apply. The One for All gift card is issued by GVS Prepaid Europe Limited. GVS Prepaid Europe Limited is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
The Department of Social Protection is working to improve disability payments in Ireland. There is currently a consultation on how these payments might work better in the future. We want to hear your views on how the system might be improved. To find out more, please visit gov.ie/disability payments reform. A Government of Ireland initiative brought to you by the Department of Social Protection.
Are you ready for Deal Day November? Irwin Expert Electrical are bringing you mega savings this November on your favourite brands like LG, Samsung, Dyson and Fitbit. Shop smart, save big and stay tuned to Irwin Expert Electrical on social media for the exciting daily deals, all eligible for the Christmas layaway service.
At Hickey Clark and Langan Insurance Brokers, they compare quotes from all the leading insurers, so you get a great price. Home, motor and van, farm, holiday home, travel and liability insurance, they quote them all. So if the worst happens, you're covered. For a competitive insurance quote today, call Hickey Clark and Langan on 9126688 or pop into their office at Ballymacool, Letterkenny. Hickey Clark and Langan General Insurances Limited, trading as Hickey Clark and Langan, is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Black Friday week at Sony Centre, Letterkenny. The best deals on Sony TVs, soundbars, cameras, Bluetooth speakers and headphones. Sony Centre, Letterkenny, the destination for Sony in the Northwest.
Highland Radio time checks with Expressway. Travel Route 32 from Letterkenny to Dublin when you book online and travel for less. Expressway, bringing you the time at...
The time's 11:24. We're in the company of Declan Meehan, Michael White, Micheál Colm Aswick. I want to go to you, Declan, because... Do you know, in the first 20 minutes of this programme, far right, we've heard the phrase far right used an awful lot, right? But, right, that might be the what people might see as agitators or whatever. But there's conversations happening around breakfast tables and dinner tables last night in every house in Ireland. And many of them are saying, this country is changing. I'm fearful. There's something that we need to do. Do you know what I mean? To sort of suggest that this is just a far right element, I don't think... People need to wake up to I hate that phrase, I've just used it, but anyway, that this is a broad conversation that's happening right across the country. Now, people aren't acting out like some are acting out, but people have a concern.
Look, I think that what we are experiencing and what we've seen, particularly over the past number of years, is a more emboldened far right, a cleverer far right. They're smarter, they're becoming better organised, they're being given more leeway in media, they're being given more leeway publicly. And I think that kind of creates a false narrative that this is a conversation that happens perhaps more regularly than it actually does. I think that while we're discussing this now and we're discussing what the root causes of those riots were last night, absolutely. Are people concerned about an increase in the number of, to quote, foreign nationals coming into the country? I think that concern certainly exists, but I don't think it exists in such a pernicious way where people think that their safety is at stake. Or anything like that. I think that a very, very small, very loud, very misguided minority are deliberately leveraging this for their own political aims.
I get you, Declan, but I'm on about organic conversations that are happening at homes. You know what I mean? That people aren't, if you're not on Twitter, right, you don't really get very much exposed to the far right in this country, I would argue, or certain Facebook groups. But you know, I don't think it's pervasive throughout the entire country.
I wouldn't agree with that, Greg.
Well, that's fine. But what I'm saying is I think some of these concerns are being born of people's own experiences and interpretations, that they're not being manipulated. I genuinely think, though, that, and I'll come back to you, Micheál Colm, that there are people who will be saying this morning, we need to be careful who we're letting into this country. We need to, keep control. That is growth. We've seen it. We're only 5 years perhaps behind Holland.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So we can't pretend it's not happening.
I think, though, that to say that, the far right manipulation doesn't exist off social media is incorrect, Greg.
Okay, I accept that. No problem.
Because I think when the far right are agitating and they're conducting arson attacks locally in Donegal on particular facilities and accommodation facilities, that's manipulation by the far right because it makes the headlines. So whether you're sitting in a kitchen listening to Highland Radio or whether you're scrolling through your phone on Twitter, we are being manipulated by the far right, and we're being exposed to their rhetoric, we're being exposed to their aims. I think that when we're talking about the organic conversations that are happening, absolutely they are happening. But the reality is this: the vast majority of crime perpetrated in Ireland, North and South, is perpetrated by people who are from Ireland. And that is the case today, and it was the case 20 years ago, and it'll be the case again in 20 years to come. So we have to be careful about how we discuss this at the same time.
100%. The statistics back you up completely. If you look at the demographics of this country and the race of them, if you wish, if you even wanted to dig down into that, it's a tiny, tiny percentage of the population that are non-white. Let me put it, as simple as that. And I will come to you, Michael, but Micheál Colm just wanted to come in there on a particular point, I presume. What did you want to say, Micheál Colm?
There's quite a few points I'd like to come into there, but it's hard to figure out where I'm going with this here, and I fully agree with what Declan's saying there, and it's interesting and it's scary and it's sad and upsetting what's happening at the moment, and as Declan was saying clearly there in terms of attacks on asylum centres and the burning of places. You know, it's not that long ago that we seen the Sinn Féin TD down Leitrim, his car being burnt out. To my understanding, there had been a number of other attacks on his home since. It's only a matter of weeks ago within my own community that two Palestinian men returning from a bar who were drinking 2 bottles of our cans of Red Bull just to get out of the direct provision centre that they're in, was walking home and was set upon very violently and sent to hospital. The very same centre who has had, that I'm told, a number of death threats. And I suppose one of the things that really concerns me, and I'm not sure if it was that journalist you were talking about that says never seen the likes of it before in Dublin, that's actually not true. I was in Dublin during the Love Ulster March, and I've seen what was happening during the Love Ulster March when pro-British militia decided to march on Dublin, loyalists, as we call them, who came down to the capital to incite hatred. And we seen then, but what we seen then and what we seen last night were two very different responses. And this is something that has to be talked about. And when I mean that in terms of responses, it was a response from the Garda. The Guards during the Love Ulster March, because I was literally in the middle of it, his response was very different from the response that we seen last night.
Are you saying they were too heavy-handed last night, just to get to the point, or what?
No, what I'm saying is that there were two very different responses. The Love Dublin, or the Love Ulster, as they called it, Gra Olu March that came down to Dublin, was a very different response from the Guards in terms of the arrests, in terms of their response to those that were involved in whatever actions.
What is the point, with respect, what's the point you're making for those who don't know?
Right, my point being is that Drew Harris, which I believe should resign from his position for many reasons, and as you know, I had a motion in the council in relation to this. But if you look at the approach that he has taken in relation to the far right rise and his very clear pro-imperialist position on this and approach, shows you clearly where he stands in relation to the rise of the far right has been very, very, very different. And Michael White was talking about East Wall earlier on. I've been involved in anti-fascist movement for a very, very long time. Last Saturday, I spent most of my day in Dublin having conversations with other progressive people in relation to the rise of racism and fascism within the state. And I specifically listened to one of the main people in Dublin that came from East Wall, and how he talked about how the East Wall situation started to grow and how strangers from the area came in and started manipulating working class communities. And I'm not looking at a row with Michael White today, and I'd be more than happy to have that row another day. But I was very disappointed his language around working class communities in Dublin, and I think.
Sorry, I was talking about areas of social deprivation. I made that clear. It wasn't talking about those communities being bad. I was saying communities with areas of deprivation are likely to have problems.
I says, I didn't come on top of it today, but at the same time,
but he's entitled to make a response.
But the point being is that the approach that the Guards have been taking. If you look at, like I said,
so just to be clear, are you saying you're comparing last night versus the Love Ulster situation? Are you saying the Gardaí were too light touch last night, too heavy-handed? Just for those who don't know the comparison you're making, what issue do you have with what the Garda role last night?
Well, the issue, like I said when I came on the radio this morning, is that I missed a lot of this
right.
Because of nothing up at the bar, so I have to catch up on a lot of it. But what I'm saying is this, that it's the overall approach that the Guards, even within their own county, in terms of the far right. Look, the reality is, and I don't want to give them any coverage because I believe them to be scumbags that are marching, or not marching, but as they say, community watching in certain parts of our community or in our county. That by definition, is very simple.
Okay.
It's fascist.
Right, okay.
Streets.
Understood.
And the Guards' approach, because if this was Republicans doing what they're doing, the approach would be very, very different and extremely heavy-handed.
Michael, I appreciate that, and your point well made, and I give you loads of time there, Micheál Collins, so don't think I'm cutting you off. Michael, though, right, again, the opposition to your guys' views, you're similar but different, right, in your views, is not far right, though. That's what I'm trying to get at here is, and it just so happened that this happened yesterday, and you are our panel, Michael, but there's I think a significant proportion of the population that have their concerns, as I said to Declan, that are worried, or they want answers, or they need stuff explained to them, or whatever it might be. They're not far right. They aren't far right. And every time we have these conversations, I know people are going, well, I have my concerns, but I'm not far right, Michael. Do you get where I'm coming from? So
yeah, I think absolutely. There's a few things. People should be able to have a discussion without fear of being accused of being bigots or far right. However, the conversation can be steered in different directions where non-issues suddenly become trumpeted as if there's a reality. So I think Declan made the point. If you're a victim of crime, it's going to be an Irish guy that's been doing the crime. It's not going to be an immigrant, statistically. It wasn't Brazilians looting Arnott's last night. It was local Dubliners. So I think that you're right that people can have conversations as long as those conversations are well informed. But you also mentioned the fact that we're only 5 years behind Holland. I disagree. That guy Geert Wilders that's in Holland, there isn't an equivalent to that extreme right-wing party in Ireland yet. Now, in the last election, I think extreme right-wing people got less than 1% of the vote across the country. Hopefully it stays that way. But
well, I'd be careful. Like the reason I say things like that, Conor McGregor, who would be a hero to perhaps many of the people that were out in the street last night, he says, you reap what you sow. Ireland, we are at war. Innocent children ruthlessly stabbed by a mental... Well, I can't read that because it could compromise a trial. And on it goes, calling out all the parties, the president saying enough is enough. We need to do this, that and done. A figurehead like that, if they step forward, I think they'd make a lot of progress in the 4 to 5 years. But anyway, we don't want to split hairs on that, but I just think we're closer than perhaps maybe...
Well, there's a real issue with Conor McGregor. I won't say what I think about him, but there's also some issues with political leadership. So during the week, we had...
I'll say it if you want, Michael.
Yeah, but just I'm going to make a very brief point, Colin, just about how Thomas Pringle rightly called out Danny Healy-Rae. And there's an example of somebody in politics in the Parliament saying, in the Dáil, saying something, Danny Healy-Rae come out with an anti-immigrant crap. At the same time, his family make money from renting accommodation to refugees. So it's important. Your point, Greg, about people around the dinner table, this discussion has to happen, and it has to be influenced by well-minded people who want to establish a consensus that we all... Ireland so far has always had a consensus in this. We do discuss stuff and we stay in the middle, so we don't want to get pulled to the extremes. And so the conversation is important, but it also needs to be influenced by politicians, other people of influence. We don't need Conor McGregor's or his crap.
Okay, well, others...
And the other thing too is, on the point of politicians, etc., like the Minister for Justice needs to revisit. She walked down Talbot Street, a street like a couple of blocks away from where this happened yesterday, during the summer, saying Dublin's safe. Like it self-evidently isn't safe, and that needs to be addressed. Going back to the point about areas of social deprivation and some underlying issues there that contributed. I thought, I mean, we don't want to go on too much, but I thought Adrian Weckler and your points about whether this is driven by far right or was it opportunistic last night? You know, it may have been kicked off by the far right, but it was opportunistic. That was kids raiding Arnott's to rob.
Okay, you don't block off hospitals, set the Lewis on fire, set buses on fire, and set Gardaí on fire, and set fire to your own city because you're afraid of what immigrants might do to your city. I mean, that you know what I mean. That it's very easy to work that out. That you know.
Yeah, I think that ties back to the kids who are doing that are from a background where they don't think they've got anything to lose. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that needs to be sorted out.
30 seconds, Micheál Collins, before a break.
I'd like to come in on that there, and Michael White, Micheál Defeature. I think you're making a point there, surely, but we cannot and we must not, and we have been for many years been misleading, or not misleading. Sorry, we're undermining actually the rise of the far right in Ireland. The reality is that the far right are rising in Ireland. They're organising. Most of them are coming from a very, very dangerous and criminal background. If we look at some of the parts of East Wall, Ballymun, and these are some of the areas that I know. I spent many, many years working in Ballymun. I was a youth worker on the streets in Ballymun, and I would know them areas, not as much now as obviously clearly as I would have done back in the day. So we must not underestimate the rise of the far right. We must not think that the fact is that what happened last night was an issue of social deprivation.
I get you, but I'm going to have to just, because I do have to take a break. But again, you see, what this conversation with the continuous words of the far right, and there are far right agitators and what have you, agitators, it means people that have genuine concerns, that don't have any racism at all, feel that they can't express themselves in any way, shape or form because they will be labelled far right. And we need to, I think we're never going to get anywhere unless we get past that and we can actually have conversations.
And I think, Michael, in fairness to Michael White earlier, he said that in terms of labelling, and I think we need to be very careful in terms of the use of language. I know a lot of people who have concerns about foreigners coming into our country. No doubt the same way as people in other countries have huge concerns about the vast immigration from Ireland to their country. And we can't and we shouldn't label every single person as racist and far right who have these concerns. I fully agree with that. But we must talk about the reality, about the fact is that there are agitators. For example, if you take the likes of Herman Kelly from the Irish Freedom Party, who has been concentrating heavily on Donegal this last month or so, a man who is extremely close to Nigel Farage, who has been strongly suggested extremely close to loyalism.
But he's not here to respond. I understand that.
Language, and who has been targeting areas, right, as people in Derry would call him, a graft dodger, and somebody who has been targeting our communities solely to peddle a far right agenda, to drive a wedge. Now, there has been suggestions that he works for British.
Hold on one second here. No. Colin, I just can't go down that road at the moment with you.
Not? If we're going to talk about it, let's talk about it.
Declan, did you want to come back in there a sec?
Just what I wanted to say was, we're talking about, far right manipulation versus opportunism, and a lot of people who were involved last night opportunistically taking the opportunity to raid Foot Locker or any other shops to loot. But opportunism is the currency of the far right, and that has been historically always the case. They're trying to tap into disaffected population for whatever reason, and they're trying to leverage their actions to bolster their own numbers, to bolster their own causes. And I think that's really important to bear in mind. The two are not separate. They're
and the left aren't innocent of that either too. It's just, that happens there as well. I take your points. Okay, back with more shortly.
Watch the show live now on YouTube, Facebook and at highlandradio.com.
Your one-stop shop this Christmas. Gift vouchers for the Silver Tassie Hotel and Seascape Spa are available online at silvertassiehotel.com or from hotel reception. The Silver Tassie, proud sponsors of today's show.
I am making my Holy Communion this year, and we went to Honey's and Ballybuffet. I got everything I needed: my dress, tiara, bag and shoes. I had an amazing time with so many beautiful dresses, and Mum was able to pay a deposit for the perfect communion dress. For your communion day, go to Honey's Ballybuffet.
Uno, dos, tres. Ahena doa 3. 1, 2, 3. The Arona, the Ateca and the Tarraco. 3 great SUVs from SEAT. And when you order during the SEAT 241 open event, each one of those is available with a free 3-year service plan, 3 years tyre insurance and 3 years roadside assistance. Visit seat.ie to find out more about our 241 open event from October 23rd to November 5th. Great things come in threes at DMG Motors, Donegal Town. Terms and conditions apply.
It's the Black Friday sale at Right Price Tiles and Wood Flooring. We're offering our Black Friday deals all week. Get up to 70% off all tiles, all wood flooring and all bathware. Everything's reduced and everything's in stock. The 70% off Black Friday sale at Right Price Tiles and Wood Flooring. Stores nationwide. Sale now on.
Stay warm for less this winter with Homeland. Valcas Energy Wood Pellets 10 kg. Buy 10 bags, get one free. Kiln-dried softwood logs. Buy 2 bags for €14. Nationwide delivery available. Shop in store or online at homeland.ie. The Black Friday sale is now on at the Cope Dunlow with massive savings in our homeware department. Up to 50% off selected furniture. There's 20% of all mattresses, 25% of all rugs, and massive savings on household electronics. See the Cope Dunlow on Facebook and Instagram for more.
If you're doing some shopping today and fancy taking the weight off your feet or forgetting about having to cook when you get home, take a seat at Kelly's award-winning diner in Letterkenny and select from a menu that's packed with great value, family favourite choices. Relax over a coffee and sandwich, maybe a bite of lunch, something for dinner, or a treat from the dessert menu. Great food and great service every day at Kelly's Diner, Mountaintop, Letterkenny.
Okay, you're welcome back to the programme. It's the Friday panel. Health Minister Stephen Donnelly's in Letterkenny today for a number of engagements and meetings. This morning he'll turn the sod at the site of the new Letterkenny Community Hospital on Kilmacrennan Road. Later he'll have a series of meetings at Letterkenny University Hospital, as well as meeting hospital management and senior Sealta personnel. Minister Donnelly will also meet with GPs and consultants. Last month, both groups wrote to Minister Donnelly, and the consultants have issued a subsequent letter, almost 300 of them, outlining their grave concerns for the safety and well-being of their patients, particularly in the emergency department. I think that's going to be a testy meeting, but I think Minister Donnelly's going to take the consultants on in terms of, what are they doing maybe to sort of alleviate the situation there. I'll come to you first, if that's all right, Declan Meehan. I've already had an opportunity to speak to Stephen Donnelly. I had to pre-record it a little earlier on today. And he's putting up, he says the hospital budget's increased, there's more staff, 49 additional beds, gynecology's been expanded, there's a new stroke unit, new maternity theatre, new endoscopy theatre, new MRI scanner delivered in October 2023. So that's what, that's the approach he's coming up here with.
Yeah, that's the approach that he's coming up with, and it's the approach you would certainly expect. I'm just conscious that it's 9:45, so the GPs are currently 45 minutes into their meeting with the Minister. My husband being one of those. Just obviously, I think fair play to the doctors for flagging these concerns, for organising and, speaking out on patients' behalfs. The reality of the situation is this. We've heard Charlie McConalogue say the same, and now obviously we have the Minister in person talking about the increase in funding that Letterkenny University Hospital has enjoyed over the past number of years. But the reality is the same. Patient outcomes are not improving. Degradation of service delivery in Letterkenny with the removal of key services to Galway, which is a 500-kilometre round trip. The reality is that patients in Donegal have poorer health outcomes than elsewhere in the country because of their proximity and distance from a grade 4 hospital. So there is a systematic degradation of Letterkenny University Hospital under Sealta management, and that is both under the watch of Sealta, but also of this minister and these past ministers for health that have come from this government and various iterations of government of Fine Gael, Fianna Fáil and the Greens. That is reality. We haven't had any other trend in terms of Letterkenny University Hospital other than a downward trend, and that is very concerning for the citizens of Donegal and for patients in the county. So the Minister can trumpet, as has Charlie McConalogue and other Fianna Fáil spokespeople, the increase in funding. But the reality is that's not working. And the reality is that the funding levels in Letterkenny University Hospital are still far below where they should be.
Those are some of the points that I put to the Minister. But Michael White, I kind of felt like the bad guy. That's kind of, partly my fault for highlighting these issues, not striking a balance, scaring people, not recognising that the hospital, to a great extent, is great. Now, I've very little. I've a very small role to play in any of this, other than platforming the views of GPs, consultants, and the wider public. I don't think I'm the big bad wolf. But what say you? Because the impression I got is that Stephen Donnelly's not coming with a bag full of money here. He's effectively saying, the hospital is doing really quite well here. I don't think there's going to be any silver bullet in the conversations today. Let me put it like that.
Yeah, well, I'm not in the group. We're not in the Ministry for Health. What I would say is that the GPs are right. That they are. The facts are correct. Waiting times and treatment had degraded. But the question is, how do you fix that? Stephen Donnelly has said that there's been sufficient investment, so it's not a money problem. And I don't know enough to know what the GPs actually said is that the proposed scale and ambition of plans laid out by hospital management weren't good enough. So that appears to be a criticism of Saleita and the hospital management. I'm not an expert in this. The only thing I would say is that earlier this year, it's been highlighted a few times that Waterford Hospital doesn't have the issues that a number of other hospitals do. And I don't understand why Letterkenny can't replicate some of the management and operational processes used in Waterford. Would that help fix things? Or is it purely an investment? And I don't know enough. Is it purely lack of money? Or is it the way it's being run? And if it's the way it's being run, whose fault is that?
Yeah, and Declan referenced having to go to Galway for certain treatments and services. And I think that the minister, and I don't want to do him a disservice, seemed to be taken aback that you can't really get to Galway. You know what I mean? You have to get a taxi. You can't really get up and down from Galway on public transport here at the right times. Do you know? Anyway, Micheál Colm.
Yeah, sorry, I want to say that any experience that I and my family have had with Letterkenny have been brilliant. It's been really good.
No, of course, yes.
Not any way to dismiss that there's a serious problem. The GPs are really concerned and it needs to be addressed.
Every time we talk about it, we try and clarify that is the case, but that does not mean we cannot ignore when someone could have a lesion that's cancerous, a skin cancer lesion, and there's no dermatologist to see them here, and they have to go to Sligo, and he's down there saying, I can't look after the list that's here at the moment, and I don't even have a light that I can have a decent look at what's going on in someone's skin to make a diagnosis. So we can't ignore that, but that doesn't mean we don't recognise the fantastic work at the hospital either, and the brilliant staff who are probably at this point sick and tired of listening to it being discussed. But what can we do? Councillor Micheál Colm, last word to you, because I'm going to have to jog, sorry.
No, you're grand. First thing I'd like to apologise for not remembering Ashton Murphy's name earlier on. Somebody texted me, given it to me there, and they were right to do that. Look, from paramedics to cleaners to secretaries to nurses to doctors, right across Liscanon Hospital, I tip my hat to them and their everyday work, right down to the people that work in all aspects of our healthcare. But the big thing that we need to really, really talk about is community care. You talked earlier on there, Greg, about pre-recording with the minister. Unfortunately, the minister just wouldn't have, well, I won't say it, to come on.
It was scheduled. It's completely unedited. Okay, I will concede there's a scheduling issue here. To be fair to the minister,
well, in fairness, Greg, the minister wouldn't come on and have this discussion with myself and Declan and Michael the Preacher. So, they do avoid this. That's given to the ministers. But the point being is, you talked earlier there about gynecology. We fought very hard at Ohania to get gynecology returned when they took that away. And Highland Radio was absolutely second to none in terms of our campaign at the time. To get that reintroduced into Ohania, which we never got, but we did get another element. So we won, and we won half the campaign and lost the other half. But the point being is that we need to look at it from a broader perspective. Understood. In terms of not just focusing on Letterkenny, Liscanon itself, which is important to discuss. Of course it is, and it needs to be challenged when it needs to be challenged. But we need to talk about what services are being put or not being put into community.
And do you know what we're going to do, Micheál Colm? We'll come back and have a specific conversation about that, because I think that's incredibly, incredibly important. But unfortunately, time has caught up.
One point is that we also need to recognise, and I would say this specifically to Michael in terms of his party, because they are in government, they do sit at the top, right? Is that this move is to downgrade hospitals and our healthcare right across the whole Free State is very deliberate, because that's deliberate because of the ideology of privatisation and that move to privatisation. And
that's discussed. That's discussed. 3.25 million was sent to private hospitals from Letterkenny University Hospital last year alone. Declan Meehan, I want to mention, briefly, if you don't mind, but importantly, the event on Monday night.
Yeah, so...
Can I just say, by the way, I wanted to do this interview with, do you know, like a yard brush sitting on the top of your lip here? With it being Movember, but we're going to have to do without it. But anyway, go on.
So on Monday evening...
Ned Flanders, I'm thinking.
Something like that. I think it would suit me, yeah. Milford District Resource Centre, we're hosting a Movember check-in. So it's a men's health event, which is taking place in our new premises, the Gallaglass Community Centre on the Kilmacrennan Road in Milford. We'll have a number of speakers around mental health, physical health, sexual health, everything. Definitely try and make it. It's a very, very worthwhile event. It's free. It's very important. We're also organising a women's health event in the new year, but absolutely come along on Monday at 7 o'clock.
All right, brilliant stuff, Declan. I'm sure there'll be a huge turnout. I hope there will be, because it's really, really important across the whole range of mental and physical health. Thanks so much, Declan. Lovely to see you as always. Take care of yourself.
Thank
you. Michael White, thank you so very much for joining us today. I really do appreciate it.
Thanks, Greg. Thank you.
And last but not least, Micheál Colm, have a lovely weekend. Take care.
Good to meet you.
Slán. Back with the weather.
The 9 till Noon Show with the multi-award-winning Silver Tassie Hotel. Planning dream weddings for generations. Email weddings at silvertassiehotel.ie for a brochure or your private show around.
Hello, Jedward speaking. Sorry, Edward speaking.
Hey, bro. I'm glad you picked up.
Who is this?
It's me, John. I'm literally outside in the landing.
I don't know any Sean. Lose my number. Hello?
Edward, don't hang up. I'm sorry for saying a handyman could fix the gas boiler. Please forgive.
Always use a registered gas installer, or you could risk everything. Find one at rgi.ie.
In this week's RTE Guide, Patrick Keelty on the twists and turns of hosting the toy show and the joyful chaos of family life. Entertaining and educational, we dive into the 20 must-watch kids shows right now. And seasonal gifts for all in our Christmas gift guide. Everything and more. RTE Guide, on sale now.
To help with the cost of heating your home during the winter months, the Fuel Allowance Scheme is now available. This allowance is paid at a rate of €33 a week for 28 weeks. To find out more and check your eligibility, visit gov.ie/fuel allowance. The quickest and easiest way to apply is online at mywelfare.ie. One payment per household. A Government of Ireland initiative brought to you by the Department of Social Protection.
At Connect Hearing, our audiologist is available Monday to Friday for hearing tests and wax removal services at our Letterkenny Clinic in the Courtyard Shopping Centre. From now until the end of November, we are offering a free wax removal service for all those over 60 years of age. Our hearing is our social sense. Are you finding hearing more of a challenge? Call Ursula today on 07491 13296 to make an appointment. Good hearing helps us to connect to our family, friends and loved ones. Connect Hearing, connecting you to life.
We're turning Black Friday red in the Virgin Media Playhouse. Get 1 gig superfast reliable broadband for just €45 a month for 12 months with no activation fee. And when you add TV for €15 a month, an Xbox Series S is your Red Friday gift. Get your play underway with 1 gig broadband and TV for €60 a month. Switch in store or at virginmedia.ie. Virgin Media. It's playtime.
Subject to location and availability. Terms and conditions apply. See virginmedia.ie. Offer ends the 29th of November 2023.
Highland Radio weather updates brought to you by Grant. From condensing oil and HVO biofuel boilers to heat pumps and underfloor heating, you can trust Grant to heat your home. Visit grant.ie.
Okay, so a cold and somewhat cloudy start this morning, but it's mostly dry. The cloud will gradually break up with sunny spells developing by this afternoon. A cool northerly breeze will mean temperatures will struggle with highs of just 6 to 9 degrees. Now stay tuned. Coming up in the next hour, we'll catch up on some of your comments. Incredibly busy on the programme this morning. And we'll also have that sit-down interview with the Health Minister, Stephen Donnelly. But we're going to take a break now for the news and obituary notices. Please stay right where you are.
Christmas party nights at the Silver Tassie. Drinks reception, 4-course festive meal, live music by the Logues, Jim Devine, and more power to your elbow. For dates and bookings, call the Silver Tassie Hotel, proud sponsors of today's show.
It's our biggest ever Black Friday at Boots, with up to 30% off selected premium beauty and fragrance from Burberry to Yves Saint Laurent, like the Liz Earle Cleanse and Polish Starter Kit, was €26, now €18.20. Shop today and don't miss out. Boots, give joy. Selected stores and boots.ie, subject to availability. Offer ends 3rd December.
Pandora's Black Friday promotion is here. Save up to 30% on charms and jewellery and make this Christmas unforgettable. But hurry, this offer won't be around for long. Ends 27th of November. Available in participating stores and online at pandora.net while stocks last. Terms and exclusions apply.
Easy Living Furniture present their massive Black Friday sale with huge discounts of up to 60% off. That's right, up to 60% off everything until Sunday. With absolutely everything reduced, including sofas, dining, bedroom and mattresses, and with 0% interest-free finance available with no deposit, the choice is easy. Black Friday sale ends Sunday at Easy Living Furniture, Crescent Link Retail Park.
With the TFI Go app from Transport for Ireland, paying your bus fare couldn't be easier. Simply buy your ticket on the app, tap to activate, show it to your driver and go. Fares are up to 30% cheaper than cash, and you can save your payment details and favourite journeys for easy future purchases. Download the TFI Go app today and use on participating TFI services, including Bus Éireann, TFI Local Link and Go Ahead Ireland Commuter, as well as participating commercial bus services. Visit transportforireland.ie for terms, conditions and more.
Hi, Tommy Bow here. Get in store to check out my new 15 Kings clothing collection, available in premium gents outfitters nationwide and at 15kings.com.
Have you always dreamed of that free upgrade? Let Loganair make it a reality this Black Friday weekend. Book flights with us by Monday 27th November and get all the benefits of our Fly Flex fare for the price of a standard fly ticket at no extra cost. That's a 23-kilogram hold luggage allowance, upgraded flexibility, and free seat assignment as standard. Travel from 19th February 2024, subject to availability. Excluded routes and terms and conditions apply.
Live, on air, online, and on the Highland Radio app. This is Highland Radio News.
Good morning, it's Donna Marie Doherty with the news at 10 o'clock. 34 people have been arrested in connection with the violence in Dublin City last night. The Garda Commissioner says thousands of hours of video and CCTV footage will be analysed in order to identify the people involved. The scenes followed a stabbing incident in Parnell Square earlier yesterday afternoon, in which a 5-year-old girl and a woman in her 30s were seriously injured. Commissioner Drew Harris insists the Garda response was not a failure.
We have seen a group of people who take literally a thimble full of facts and make a bathtub of assumptions, hateful assumptions, and then conduct themselves in a way which is riotous and disruptive to our society. We then have to respond to that in terms of our tactics and training. But there's no failure here. There's no failure. This is regrettably how protests have moved on, and now we have to graduate and have a proportionate response.
Minister for Higher Education Simon Harris says parents across the country will be thinking of the young girl critically ill in hospital.
I think we also cannot forget that yesterday afternoon at 1:30, when literally tens of thousands of parents would have been picking their kids up from schools across the country, 3 children were stabbed. One little girl, 5, is critically ill, and indeed her carer, somebody who works in her school. And we're thinking of all of them, and I think every parent in Ireland is thinking of the image of the little school bag on the pavement beside that little girl.
Health Minister Stephen Donnelly is in Letterkenny today for a number of engagements and meetings. This morning he'll turn the first sod at the site of the new Letterkenny Community Hospital on Kilmacrennan Road, and later he'll have a series of meetings at Letterkenny University Hospital. As well as meeting hospital management and senior CELTA personnel, Minister Donnelly will also meet with GPs and consultants. Last month both groups wrote to Minister Donnelly outlining grave concerns for the safety and well-being of their patients, particularly in the emergency department. Airline bosses are to discuss the challenges of developing green aviation fuel in the coming years. Midlands North West MEP Colin Markey is warning air travel is to shoot up in price unless more sustainable aviation fuel is made. Airline executives, including Ryanair's CEO Michael O'Leary, are attending his conference in County Meath today to discuss the issue. MEP Markey says fossil fuels are driving up the cost of airline fuel.
Currently, aviation is using all fossil fuels, and as a result of taxes imposed on fossil fuels, that's going to drive the price up. So at European level, there's a requirement to include 5% SAF, sustainable aviation fuel, by 2030. And currently we're on less than 0.05%. That's 1/100th of the ambition. So if we don't change this, the cost of flying is essentially going to go up.
Police in Derry are investigating a burglary within the area of Drumleck Gardens in the city. It is believed to have occurred between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. on Wednesday last. Those who noticed any suspicious activity or vehicles in the area or have any information relating to this matter are asked to contact 101. Meanwhile, the officers from the Foyleside and the Moor Neighbourhood Policing Team carried out a road safety operation with the Driver and Vehicle Agency as part of ongoing road safety efforts. A number of offences were detected surrounding vehicles' roadworthiness. As a result, approximately 20 fixed penalty notices were issued. Officers also spoke with several taxi drivers during the evening operation and conducted compliance checks. It was found to be in order in respect of most of these vehicles. However, inquiries are being made in respect to 6 vehicles who are believed to be operating as illegal taxis. A further 2 vehicles, also suspected to be operating as illegal taxis, were seized. Looking now to weather, a cold and somewhat cloudy start this morning, but it's mostly dry. The cloud will gradually break up with sunny spells developing by this afternoon. A cool northerly breeze will mean temperatures will struggle with just highs of 6 to 9 degrees. That's all for now. From Highland Radio News, the next news update is at 11 o'clock. In the meantime, keep up to date with all the latest on our website, highlandradio.com. From myself and the news team, good morning. The obituary notices this Friday morning, November 24th. The death has taken place of Teresa Doherty, Kilmore Manor, Derry, and formerly of Tierhorn, Clonmany. Remains reposing at Komsky's funeral premises at 2:30 today. Funeral from there tomorrow at 9:45 a.m, going to St Mary's Church, Clonmany, for funeral mass at 10 a.m, with burial afterwards in the adjoining cemetery. Mass can be viewed live on churchservices.tv. The death has taken place of Breda Jacob ní Buckley, Aisling Glebe Letterkenny, and formerly of Castle Lyons, County Cork. Breda's remains will repose at her late residence from 4 p.m. until 11 p.m. today, and from 11 a.m. until 11 p.m. tomorrow. Funeral from there on Sunday, going to the Church of Irish Martyrs Letterkenny for Requiem Mass at 9:30 a.m, followed by cremation at 2 o'clock in Lakelands Crematorium, County Cavan. Funeral Mass can be viewed on Church of the Irish Martyrs YouTube channel. Family flowers only, please. Donations in lieu if desired to the Intensive Care Unit, Letterkenny University Hospital, care of any family member or Charlie McClafferty funeral directors. The death has taken place of Rodney Ralston, Court Milford, and formerly of Rosemount, Kilmacrennan. Remains reposing at the Eternal Light Chapel of Rest, Mountaintop, Letterkenny, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. today, where you may pay your respects. Funeral service tomorrow at 2 p.m. in St Paul's Church, Ramelton. Cremation on Sunday in Lakelands Crematorium, Cavan at 3 p.m. Family flowers only, please. Donations, if desired, to the Donegal Hospice, care of any family member or Patrick Sweeney funeral directors. The death has taken place of Mary McGee ní Gately, 35, Clachanmore, Letterkenny, and formerly of Bay Harbour Islands, Florida, and Kiltyvan, Roscommon. The wake will take place at her home in Clachanmore between 12 noon and 9 p.m. today. House private to family at all other times and on the morning of the funeral. Funeral Mass will be in St Finian's Church, Fulcara, tomorrow at 12:30 p.m, followed by interment in the adjoining cemetery. Family flowers only, please. Donations, if desired, to Medical 2, Letterkenny University Hospital, care of Marley Funeral Directors, Letterkenny. The death has taken place in London of James McCarter, husband of Margaret Doherty, Billy, Ballymena, Kilkenny, Malin. James's remains are reposing at the home of his sister-in-law, Mary Doherty, Billy, Ballymena, Kilkenny, where you're welcome to pay your respects to the family. Funeral Mass for James will take place today at 12 noon in St Mary's Church, Lag, Malin, followed by burial in the adjoining graveyard. The death has occurred of Deirdre Gallagher, 4 Ard Crannan, Gortley, Letterkenny. Deirdre's remains are reposing at her late residence. Funeral from there tomorrow morning for Requiem Mass at 11 a.m. in St Eunan's Cathedral, Letterkenny, followed by interment in Newleck Cemetery. Funeral Mass can be viewed live on churchservices.tv. Family time from 11 p.m. and on the morning of the funeral tomorrow. The death has occurred of Willie Harkin, 189 Drumlega Road South, Newton Stewart, reposing at his late residence. Funeral from there this afternoon at 1:30 for Requiem Mass at 2 p.m. in St Mary's Church, Dregish. Interment afterwards in Dregish New Cemetery. For family information and more details regarding wakes and funerals, please go to highlandradio.com.
Everyone loves a great Christmas movie. And nobody does Christmas better than Disney Plus.
That was epic.
Stream Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny straight from the cinema.
I've been looking for this all my life.
Alongside festive favourites like Muppets Christmas Carol.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Home Alone and Die Hard.
Yippee-ki-yay.
Streaming this season on Disney Plus. 18 plus subscription required. T's and C's apply.
All right, you're very welcome back to the 9 till noon show. You're very welcome back to the programme. I did say that, didn't I? Right, we have a competition running, Kelly's, in association with Kelly's. Do you have those deets? You're going to get them for... everything is... I'm not going to fall out with you on air, Caroline, but everything's stapled together. Okay, I'll dig through it here because it is a brilliant competition we've got running for you, but I'll have to come back to that. Right, 086 60 25,000, the WhatsApp and text number. We've been very busy on the programme with all of you texting in. Now, because of the nature of today, I'm not sure how many of them I'm going to get to. And it's such a sensitive subject. I want to say this out in front. I will come back to this on Monday morning. So if you took the time to text in and I don't get to them, because we've got a half an hour interview with Stephen Donnelly, if you sent in the text, don't think I'm not reading it out for any reason. They're not being, picked out for some sort of an ideology or anything like that. That's not how I roll. That's not how I play. If I don't get them to the day today, it's going to be a significant story on Monday as well, of course, and we will get to them then as well, okay? So please bear with me on that. But we are going to take a break because very soon after, we're going to be joined by the Minister of Health, Stephen Donnelly. He's just had a meeting there with GPs. He's currently turning the sod at the community hospital. Then he's meeting consultants. So obviously, I had to come in this morning to pre-record that, so we'll get to that just after this break. Right, okay, we'll take that break.
The county's #1 talk show, the 9 till noon show on Highland Radio.
It's time for NCBI Bingo on Highland Radio.
It's Friday, the 24th of November. You're playing on the yellow sheet. The reference number is S15. It's game number 47. The numbers are 16, 36, 18, 23, 20, 37, 68, 62, 14, and finally 59. Phone your claim to 9104833 before 8 tonight, leaving your name, contact number and the name of the shop where you purchased your book, and we'll call you back the next working day. Get all your NCBI bingo information at highlandradio.com.
Make your big night in better with Dunnes Stores. Choose any takeaway style Dunnes Stores pizza and a garlic pizza bread for just €5. Treat yourself to half price on a variety of soft drinks and snacks, like Pepsi Max 2 litre, Pringles, and a range of Nestle, Cadbury and Mars chocolate pouches. Plus, with a €10.50 grocery voucher, you save even more. Make Christmas for everyone at Dunnes Stores. Terms and conditions apply. Voucher can be used to next grocery shop of €50 or more.
For day-to-day healthcare needs, generations have trusted the experienced staff at McGee's Chemist Letterkenny. From coughs and colds to aches and pains, from vitamin supplements to first aid essentials. McGee's have what you need when you need it, with a full prescription service available daily. McGee's Chemist, Main Street, Letterkenny. For healthcare help and advice you can always trust.
Last Christmas, millions in cash prizes were won by people playing the National Lottery's Christmas scratch cards. This year, you could scratch and win up to €100,000 instantly. Play the National Lottery's range of Christmas scratch cards. The National Lottery. It could be them. Gift responsibly.
Black Friday deals at Brian McCormick Sports and Leisure. 20% discount on Hoka, Brooks, New Balance and On footwear. Check in store and online for details. 20% off Adidas running spikes and 20% off Under Armour and Adidas clothing. 30% off Donegal GEA Dolman range. Black Friday discounts at Brian McCormick Sports and Leisure and on bmcsports.ie.
Christmas party nights at the Silver Tassie. Drinks reception, 4-course festive meal, live music by the Logues, Jim Devine and more power to your elbow. For dates and bookings, call the Silver Tassie Hotel, proud sponsors of today's show.
Watch the show live now on YouTube, Facebook and at highlandradio.com.
OK, we're joined on the programme now by Health Minister Stephen Donnelly. Minister, thank you very much for joining us. We do appreciate your time today.
Thanks, Greg. It's great to be in Donegal today.
Yeah, now before we get to the matters you'll be discussing today, I must ask you a quick word on the awful events in Dublin yesterday. And foremost in my mind is the attack on these three innocent young children, one very, very seriously ill, and of course their care. It is horrendous, isn't it?
It's horrific. It's absolutely horrific. I've got 3 young children myself. And the idea that young children, 5 years of age, were lining up outside a school and some lunatic came over with a knife and started to attack them and attack the woman they were with, the carer they were with. It is every parent's worst nightmare. And my thoughts are with the children. My thoughts are with their families. I can't begin to imagine what their families are going through. And indeed, with the woman in her 30s who was with them, who I understand was their carer as well, who was seriously injured. Our thoughts are with her and with her family. It is literally the stuff of every parent's nightmare.
And then, of course, we saw the events that followed, something we've never really seen in Dublin on this scale before. Buses burnt out, Garda cars burnt out, members of the Gardaí corralled and attacked, hospitals having to put out posts suggesting that please don't come here unless unless it's completely unavoidable. What's your reaction to last night's activity?
It's just wanton thuggery and criminality, isn't it? I know there's a far right element there who are trying to whip up racism and bigotry, but this isn't about ideology. This is just pure thuggery and hatred, and those thugs screaming racist slogans up and down the streets of Dublin, streets I grew up on. You know, it'll be lost on them that the very healthcare workers you're talking about who are running our hospitals, that if any one of them got injured last night, there's every chance that it would be a foreign healthcare worker, a foreign nurse, a foreign doctor who would be helping them. And I was getting updates, as you can imagine, yesterday and this morning from our healthcare services as to the status of the hospitals in Dublin. Our healthcare workers, including many foreign healthcare workers, responded as we always see them do, which was very admirably. But at the same time, I was looking at some posts from some of our international doctors and other healthcare workers, and what they were hearing about what was being, chanted on the streets of Dublin. There is absolutely No place for any of that.
It is going to feed, though, into a narrative that's out there, okay, and it is going to spawn a conversation, even though the alleged attacker, over 20 years living in Ireland, an Irish citizen, and we don't know more about the background other than that, but it is going to amplify a conversation, and it is also going to, embolden or encourage perhaps certain elements. What is there a conversation that needs to be had about immigration, about integration, about the situation that's in Ireland? This could be the sort of first incident of many. I don't think we can ignore it either, not to be forced into the conversation by these actions, but it just seems inevitable that we are going to have that conversation on a national level, perhaps more seriously.
Well, do we have the conversation whenever an Irish man murders somebody? We don't. Do we have the conversation about people in Dublin when a Dublin man attacks somebody? We don't. Do we have a conversation about Donegal when a Donegal man attacks somebody? We don't. So why do we need to have a conversation about someone who is born anywhere, right? The reality is what happened in terms of this attack is completely unacceptable. It's horrific. And inevitably, the far right, the racists, the bigots, the cowards, the thugs will try to exploit this, not for any thought-out ideology. I think, Greg, if there is to be a national conversation to be had, I think it's a different conversation. The young people today are brought up on a diet through television and, turn on Netflix, and every second thing you see will be, a series or a movie about someone with a gun killing a load of other people with guns. We have social media platforms now where the algorithms are feeding people, the majority of whom are young people, feeding them hatred and bigotry and racism. And by the way, a lot of mental health issues around eating disorders, suicide ideation. We have plenty of evidence from all over the world that shows that the algorithms, the latest was an Amnesty International report just in the last 2 weeks, showing that the algorithms on these social media platforms, at least in this case, I believe it was TikTok, are targeting people with negativity.
Well, what do we do? Because we have to move on, but briefly on that, a lot of those companies are based here. We make it really quite favourable for them to be here. We theoretically should then have a great deal of influence in that regard. What can be done?
There are several things happening. You'll have seen Norma Foley has brought in support for a smartphone voluntary ban in primary schools. That actually originated in my hometown and in Wicklow. I think I would like to see a smartphone ban across schools generally. There's a new media commission and a new online safety commissioner, and there's a new binding code being brought in next year. There are things we are doing. But your question is around, do we need to have a national conversation? And I think we do, but not on that topic, right? Any more than we need to have a national conversation on people in Kerry or Donegal or Wicklow if there's an attack, from there.
But made that point.
But we've got to reflect on the fact that young people growing up today, when you and I were growing up, I'm probably a bit older than you, but when you and I were growing up, we couldn't turn on the telly and just have series after series after series streamed into our sitting rooms with the glamorized violence and guns and death and murder. And I think that's the conversation we need to have. That being
said, many of the on the streets last night, their heroes would be the likes of Conor McGregor, and his X/Twitter timeline makes for very interesting reading. But anyway, we must move on. You're here for good news, the turning of a sod on the site of the new Letterkenny Community Hospital in Kelmacrennan Road. We will talk about that, but I must talk to you about the letter sent to you by 78 GPs, unprecedented up here, Stephen. Almost 300 consultants now have written a letter to you outlining the serious situation at Letterkenny University Hospital. And I know you'll want to talk about significant investment and improvements that are there, but I also have the words of the consultants ringing in my ears saying that if something is not done and something's not done quickly, we are looking at a service collapse. GPs are nervous about sending patients to that hospital. Patients themselves are opting to avoid treatment because of previous experience. What can you do as the boss to address those concerns?
Thanks, Chris. Well, as you say, I'm here for two reasons. We're turning the sod after this interview. We're turning the sod this morning on a new community nursing unit directly across the road from the hospital. It's a 110-bed unit. It's going to be state-of-the-art. And one of the things that will do is help in terms of discharge from Letterkenny Hospital, because there's delayed discharge. And one of the best ways to deal with delayed discharge is through having community beds available to them. But so that's the first thing I'm doing. I'm delighted to be doing that. There's also an 80-bed unit is opening up shortly in Ballyshannon. There's new community nursing units, and these are going to help in
Take
terms
the pressure
of
off.
in terms of the hospital, right? Part of the solution, as you'll know, Greg, is investing in community care, because any emergency medicine nurse or doctor will tell you the solution to trolleys is not in the emergency department.
Yes.
It's before the emergency department.
But with respect, the ED is one thing, and I appreciate what you're saying is in relation to that. We're talking about actually being cared for. There's one urology consultant to provide cancer services to patients. 1.75 cardiologists, same number of oncologists, 3 fewer full-time radiologists than there have been in the past. There's a delay in providing chemotherapy. There's only one surgeon actively doing rectal cancer work. I could go down the list, but we don't have time. We have no dermatologist. The dermatologist in Sligo was blindsided. He wasn't told that the dermatologist in Letterkenny University Hospital was retiring. He's having to take on the caseload from Donegal now. He's concerned that we're missing cancers, we're missing, the stress that's putting teenagers with acne problems through. He says he simply can't maintain the list that's there. I presume you're aware, Stephen Donnelly, that same dermatologist he's been trying to get a inspection for 3 years and doesn't actually even have that right. And now he's taken on the Donegal workload. So I appreciate looking at ED, taking the pressures off, home care packages and all that. But in terms of actually getting care, the people aren't in the hospital to do that.
They are in the hospital to do it.
Where's the dermatologist at Letterkenny University Hospital?
So let's talk about that, right? There is a relentless negativity that I hear in terms of the discussion on healthcare in Donegal. And I'm here to challenge that. It's not to deflect from the fact that there are real issues when we talk about individual doctors, right? I fully accept that. But let's talk about what's actually happening in Letterkenny Hospital and the fantastic job that our healthcare workers in that hospital are doing, right? The reduction in the inpatient list, the number of people waiting for surgery in the hospital, just in the last year has fallen by a third. Think about that. That's probably never happened before. The reduction in the number of people waiting for a day case procedure has fallen by 25% just in the last year. That's probably never happened before. The reduction in the outpatient list has fallen by 16% just in the last year. It's probably never happened before. Gynecology, an area we've invested in. There's fantastic work going on. Believe it or not, the gynecology list has fallen just in the last year by 32%. Now, why is this happening? 2 reasons. We have fantastic healthcare workers doing a really good job, notwithstanding there are pressures. I fully accept that, Greg, right? But the first reason is we've good healthcare workers doing their job. The second is Letterkenny Hospital is in the middle of the biggest investment it has ever had. And in fact, Donegal is in the middle of the biggest healthcare investment it's ever had. So just for your listeners, very quickly, right? In the last few years, the budget's gone up by 30%. Staffing has gone up by 410 whole-time equivalents. There's nearly 50 more beds. The gynecology service has been expanded. There's a new stroke unit, a new maternity theatre, a new endoscopy.
That, yeah.
But that's important.
But you're comparing that to 2016.
No, I'm comparing it to this government.
Right. Okay.
In the lifetime of this government.
But you have to understand that we at Letterkenny University Hospital were way behind other hospitals. Like, say, for instance, in terms of funding, we get the same funding as Sligo University Hospital, yet we've got a far greater demographic. So in other words, you divide the amount of attendees into the budget for Letterkenny University Hospital. It's far less than that of Sligo University Hospital, like 14th, yet we are the fifth or fourth or fifth busiest hospital. That statistic just escapes me at the moment. So how can Letterkenny University Hospital expect to survive on the same budget as Sligo University Hospital with a far greater demographic using those facilities?
So Letterkenny Hospital is not surviving, it's growing. And it's growing at a level it has never grown at before. I won't go back through all of the figures, right?
Can I just, in relation to those figures, how has that been achieved? Is that through the National Treatment Purchase Fund?
No, through this government investing in healthcare in Donegal.
So you're saying all of those additional operations happening down in Letterkenny, those treatments that you're saying, that's happening in the hospital?
The
reductions that you talked about.
Well, the capacity obviously is, right? The 410 people, the 49 beds, the new gynae service.
Of course, I understand that.
All of that is. The reduction in the waiting list is two things. The reduction in the waiting list is partly activity within the hospital and partly using the National Treatment Purchase
Which we invested 3.25 million last year into the NTPF. Would that money not be better off?
A lot more than that.
From Letterkenny University Hospital?
Well, a lot more nationally.
Yeah, from that one hospital, 3.25 million. Would that not be better off spent within that hospital, growing services, trying to attract consultants in?
Here's the question. For the people who are listening to you and I right now, who are waiting in pain, who need a new hip or a new knee or whatever it might be, what do you want to say to them? Mm-hmm. Do you want to say to them, we'll invest in the hospital, but that takes time. With the best will in the world, that takes time. And you just sit there now for 2 or 3 years and we'll get to you. Or do you want to say what this government has done, which is we are investing in the hospital at a level that has never before been seen. And at the same time, we're going to use every ounce of of private capacity to get you the treatment you need now. Greg, it isn't an either or. We have people waiting for care. They're waiting too long. It's not acceptable to me. It's not acceptable to this government. And therefore, we are using every healthcare asset we have in this country to get people the care they need.
I understand. And what you're saying is fine, but you have 300 consultants down in that hospital that you're going to have to meet that take on board what you're saying, but still say that services could collapse at the hospital. What do you say to the people of Donegal who can't get an appointment with a dermatologist? What do you say to people of Donegal who can't get the same treatment for diabetes, for an example, that can be experienced in other parts of the country? You know, these are life-changing situations for people. We've got fewer radiologists, as I mentioned. There is a huge delay in providing chemotherapy. This is life and death stuff that isn't numbers printed on a piece of paper. I know you get it, right? But there is death by geography, it feels, up here. What we need is, I understand you coming up and having the back of the staff in the hospital, but that's not going to help because we need the penny to drop in Dublin. There's a particular issue here in the Northwest that needs addressing. And you're saying, actually, not really, because everything's somewhat rosy in the garden.
Let me say a few things in response to that, Greg. I have great respect for you and I have great respect for your show and the work that you do. But that kind of language around death by geography and some of the language you're using is simply not correct. And I really don't think it is helpful. And I don't think it is fair on the healthcare workers who are providing these services. The idea, I've been to Letterkenny Hospital. I'm going back to Letterkenny Hospital today.
I'm talking about services
let me respond. I understand.
I don't want you to frame as if I'm having to go with the hospital staff down there who I stand shoulder to shoulder with. I'm on about the services that aren't there.
Well, then all I would ask, Greg,
are there.
That's Minister. Fine. All I would ask then is, can I just ask that we all reflect on the language that we use? Right? Because the idea that Letterkenny Hospital is dangerous or some of this language that's being used is simply not the case.
I never said that.
But you hang on, you started, Greg, hang on, with respect. You started this interview by saying that the GPs are saying they're scared of sending their patients into Letterkenny.
It's in the letter you received.
Implicit in that is that there is some safety issue with the people who are providing the services.
The long delays in the ED, the 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 hours, they are saying from a clinical perspective that is more damaging to their patients than sending them home. I'm not saying they're going into the hospital and poor treatment is harming them. I'm not saying that at all, Mr.
Right, so
what the GP said to you is that the waits are so long down in the ED that they believe that it is detrimental to their patients.
So let's be clear. Let's step back for a second here, okay? Because we're all trying to achieve the same thing.
I agree.
We all know that there has been a deficit of investment in healthcare in this county for many years, right? That's why this government has turned that on its head. Can we solve everything in 2 or 3 years? No government could. But what are we doing? We're investing in the hospital at a level that has never before been seen. We've brought in a new consultant contract. I'm very aware. The last time I was in the hospital, the consultants and the managers told me about real issues they had, for example, in geriatrics, hiring in new consultants. I brought that back to the HSE. The HSE sent up a team to help with some of that. But we now have a public-only contract that pays about 2.5 times more than the consultants in Altnagalvin and Derry get, right? So hiring into Letterkenny has never been more attractive in terms of consultants. We talk about the ED.
Yes.
One of the things that got raised with me last time was there weren't enough full-time ED consultants. The advice I have is that there are 3 new consultants starting shortly, and this is how we solve the problem.
But my information is there's 3 unfilled posts that no consultants have actually been selected for those posts yet.
That's not my understanding.
Okay,
I'm very open to being corrected. I've been reading a lot of material on it, but my understanding is that
there's 3 confirmed posts. I'm not sure there have been. But
my understanding is that there is something good happening there.
Okay,
but let's stick with this for a moment, right? Let's knit all of this together, because nobody wants to spend too much time in an emergency department. I sent up a specialist team, as you'll be aware. When the GPs wrote to me, I immediately sent up a specialist team. I spoke with Charlie McConalogue, spoke with Niall Blaney, and what we agreed is I'd send in the team, so I get an expert view. I'm not a doctor, I'm not an ED expert. I'd get an expert view on what more can be done, and then I would come meet the GPs, meet the consultants, meet the hospital managers, which is exactly what we're doing today. One of the things that the expert team has come back to me is they've said that nearly 1 in 2 admissions into the hospital are being discharged the next day. And what they are saying is that's a very, very high figure. And it suggests that there's a level of admission into the hospital going on with people who probably can be cared for by their GP, by their primary care team, in their home. So they're going to be working with the hospital now to see what can happen. But let's come back to the 3 ED consultants, because one of the ways that you reduce unnecessary admission is you have the senior decision makers on the floor. The more junior staff or the locum staff will tend to be more risk averse, and they'll tend to admit people who a more senior consultant mightn't admit. So these are the kind of real practical things now that we're doing to make sure that the trolley situation gets dealt with. Because one thing where we absolutely do agree, Greg, is on the emergency department. I was looking again at the figures this morning. In the last year, presentations are up 11%. That's a lot. And admissions are up 3%. Now, the trolleys versus 2019 are only up 1%. That's still moving in the wrong direction. Don't get me wrong. We have to fix it. So I recognise the challenges. It's why I'm here. It's why we're investing so much money. And I want to be honest with you, and I want to be honest with your listeners. These are issues, as everyone in Donegal knows, these are issues that have been building up for decades.
They have indeed.
Right? And while we can't solve them all in the term of one government, we can turn the ship around into a much more positive direction. Last year, for example, I opened 3 of the 7 primary care centres in Donegal. There's another one under construction.
Understood, yeah.
And another one coming. And it's that kind of investment, not just in the hospital, but in community care that is going to ultimately help.
I get you. And I think you accuse me of being overly negative or whatever, but the one thing I have
I'm just looking for a bit of balance. Greg.
That is all I do is balance, right? But when I've got someone that rings me from Fanad in South Inishowen or in North Donegal, right, and they get a hospital appointment, a referral to Galway, because that's the Cialta plan for 10 o'clock in the morning, and there's not even a bus. There's no buses that can get you from Donegal to Galway for an appointment in the morning and back in the evening. There is not. They're spending €200 or €300 on a taxi, or they're not going at all. So how do I offer that person balance, Minister? And it's not just one person.
Greg, I'd need to know the circumstances. I don't know why they're going down to Galway.
They're being referred to. The Cialta plan is, well, we can't provide all these services everywhere, so you go down to see a consultant because there's none up here, right? You sent down to Galway.
To the greatest
are you aware of that?
Yeah, to the greatest extent possible, what we're doing is trying to get people the care that they need where they are. That's why we've invested in GP practice. GPs in Donegal and around the country, for example, now have access to chronic disease management programs that didn't exist even 3 years ago. So if you have diabetes in Donegal, if you have cardiovascular disease in Donegal, if you have respiratory issues, COPD in Donegal, your GP now has access to consultants and specialist care that they didn't have 3 years ago. That's the first line of defence, if you like. The second line of defence is these new state-of-the-art primary care centres. As I said, there's 3 brand new ones have opened, another one in construction, they're coming. They have x-rays in them, not all of them, but a lot of them have diagnostics in them. They've advanced nurse practitioners, they have integrated care. That's the second line of defence, and it's going from strength to strength. But like I say, we can't solve all of this in just a few years. The third line of defence then is the hospital. is Letterkenny. That's why we're investing. It's why we're also investing in the community beds to be able to discharge. But inevitably,
you told me the last time I spoke to you, and I won't keep you very much longer. You told me the last time I spoke to you that an extra 30 million had gone into Letterkenny University Hospital. As it transpired, that money was just to stand still. That was to really, all that covered really effectively was pay increases in energy and all that type of stuff. Okay, I'll go back to the funding.
But sorry, just on that, can I, if you don't mind, can I just come back to that?
Yes, of course.
That's hard to reconcile with the fact that the workforce has gone up by over 400.
Mm-hmm.
That's not standing still.
Yeah.
The new gynae service is not standing still. The new maternity services is not standing still. The reduction in the waiting lists is not standing still. Like, we have to, let me be clear, I fully accept and it's your job to point out what isn't working, right? And I accept and I respect that, right? All I'm saying is, a narrative that somehow Letterkenny Hospital is not doing a good job in a lot of areas simply isn't true. The waiting lists are falling.
There is no narrative along those lines. It is our hospital. It's my hospital. If you get through the doors of the hospital, the treatment is excellent in many, many cases, okay? And we talk about that all the time. The staff are amazing. But we are also talking about some really serious issues here. Like when we're hearing it from consultants, it's not me making it up. It's not like I don't have a problem with the government, as you know, it might have been told otherwise, but I don't, right? I am only here trying to reflect the views of the public, the consultants, the GPs. And when they say that the services are on the brink of collapse, that's not my words. So, but how do I offer balance to a consultant who tells me that if you don't do something, there could be a service collapse at the hospital? Where do I get the balance from there? I get it from you, of course, yeah, and that's what we're doing right now, but it can be hard to get access at times. Just very, very finally, funding. You talk about investment. I have to come back to the comparing ourselves to Sligo University Hospital. As head of CELTA, don't like me doing this, but I'm going to do it anyway, right? Sligo University Hospital, Letterkenny University Hospital, similar budgets. The catchment area for Sligo University Hospital, 90,000 people. Letterkenny University Hospital, 150,000 people. So notwithstanding all of what you've said, Letterkenny's effectively a model 3.5 hospital. Yeah. Not that such a category exists.
No, you're right. It is, though.
Can you not look at the funding? This would alleviate an awful lot what we're talking about. We can't survive on the same funding as Sligo. We're a massive area up here.
Yes is the answer. And the answer is not, yes, we will look at that in the future. The answer is that's exactly what we've been doing for the last 3 years, right? So let me just go back. In the lifetime of this government, investment in Letterkenny Hospital has increased by 30%. In the lifetime of this government, the workforce in Letterkenny Hospital has increased by a quarter. Greg, that's never happened before. So the core challenge you are very rightly putting to me is, we in Donegal, you in Donegal, have not had the level of investment that the good people of Donegal need and deserve. That's the core of what you're saying. And I am saying you are absolutely correct. And I and Charlie and Niall and everyone in government, we stand shoulder to shoulder with you and say we agree, and that's why there has never been as much investment. But critically, not just in the hospital, but in community, because a lot of the solutions to the pressures in the hospital are treating people in their own community, and that's what we're doing. Is there more to be done? Absolutely. And that's why I'm here today, partly as you said, to turn the sod on another 110 bed unit that'll matter, but I'm here today to listen to the healthcare workers, to listen to the hospital managers and say, okay, there's been record investment, more is needed, let's talk about how and where that needs to go.
All right, Minister, I'm not the enemy, by the way.
I know, Greg.
Minister for Health, Stephen Donnelly, thanks very much for your time this morning.
Thank you.
The 9 till noon show with the Silver Tassie Hotel, the perfect venue for a Christmas get-together, serving festive lunch, afternoon tea, dinner and drinks throughout December. Follow Silver Tassie Hotel on Facebook and Instagram.
Are you ready for Deal Day November? Irwin Expert Electrical are bringing you mega savings this November on your favourite brands like LG, Samsung, Dyson and Fitbit. Shop smart, save big and stay tuned to Irwin Expert Electrical on social media for the exciting daily deals, all eligible for the Christmas layaway service.
Christmas boost for beef finishers. Inside this week's Farmers Journal, we reveal how factories are scrambling to fill festive orders. Sheep mart prices jump by up to €5 a head. Climate shaming farmers is unfair, says Taoiseach. The latest on new long-term land lease tax rules. Roundup of the best tractors from the world's biggest machinery show. Mart managers hit out at TB proposals that could restrict cattle trade. And why hill farmers should be paid for managing the uplands. All inside this week's Irish Farmers Journal, on sale now.
Add a splash of magic to the table this Christmas at Lidl. Carefully baked in Carlo, our deluxe 6-month matured Irish Christmas pudding, only €7.99. And a sparkling touch with our Lidl Plus Wine of the Week, Cava Reserva, save €6, now €12.99. Wishing you a magical Christmas with Lidl. Get the facts, be drink aware, visit drinkaware.ie.
Love the convenience of shopping for everything you need in the one place. Why not visit Michael Henney's department store, stocking your favourite brands across fashion, home and beauty, including Tommy Hilfiger, Barbour, Gant, Columbia, Ralph Lauren, Superdry, Vero Moda and Valentino, as well as the most sought after and niche beauty brands. Shop in store or online at michaelhenneys.com.
Hi, Kate Appleby here. Just wanted to let you all know my exciting new autumn shoe collection is available nationwide in all good shoe stores. kateappleby.com. Hope you enjoy my shoes.
Community sponsorship. It's about local people coming together to welcome refugees into their communities, acting as their guides to the things we all take for granted. Could you help refugees from Syria or Afghanistan to resettle and integrate into your community by guiding them through all things Ireland? Become a community sponsor at theopencommunity.ie.
Declan loves a leisurely Sunday drive, even on a Tuesday, ignoring all the angry honks of people trying to get home from work. You see, with Dunstores Click and Collect, Declan is never in a rush. He can order online and collect his groceries at a time that suits him. From online grocery shopping to buy me same-day delivery, there's a way to shop for everyone at Dunstores. Always better value. Terms and conditions apply. Buy me is subject to location and availability. Minimum spend required.
Okay, you're very welcome back to what is a very busy Friday here on the 9 till noon show. And I want to give you a chance now to just take a respite to win big. Thanks to our great friends at Kelly's Centre at the Mountain Top in Letterkenny. They're getting ready for Santa's season and are celebrating in their community this Christmas, and they'll be working with Little Angels in raising funds over the festive period. They'll have a number of giveaways in stores, of course, and on social media. There'll be golden tickets in the store with discounts and a grand prize, and you may see them out and about with a very special guest. Ho, ho, ho. Well, today, one lucky listener will win a €250 fuel voucher to fuel up at their Circle K. So it's a €250 fuel voucher. We've already given away multiples of 50. So this is a biggie. And the question is a simple one. What colour are sapphires? What colour are sapphires? Text your answer, your name and where you're from to 086 60 25,000. WhatsApp or text 086 60 25,000. So what colour are sapphires? Your answer, your name, where you're from to 086 60 25,000. And as I say, one of you today will win €250 of a fuel voucher. And also this week we've been running a competition in association with the show sponsors, the Silver Tassie Hotel and Seascape Spa. This is one of your last chances to enter and win their Relaxation Heaven package. You might as well enter the two at the same time. Why not? It's the same number and it's free too. You just send two separate texts because we have to do a draw. And Candice is going to give you details of what you can win. But it's a cracking prize. Aromatic steam session, hot towel, foot and back cleanse, indulgent full body massage. Never had a full body massage. I've had a back, never had the full body. A mini facial, scalp massage, so relaxing for you. Then you can snooze in the relaxation room, snooze room it is, and have relaxation time and refreshment. So that's a fantastic prize. That's going today as well, if you don't mind. So here are the details of that competition. As I say, why not enter both? Free to WhatsApp. Most of you have text packages, so it won't cost you anything to text either. Can't guarantee that, but anyway, 086 60 25,000. What colour are sapphires? You could win a €250 fuel voucher thanks to Kelly's. Answer, name, where you're from, and here's the details of our fantastic Silver Tassie prize.
On this week's show, with thanks to our sponsors, the Silver Tassie Hotel and Seascape Spa, we're giving you the chance to win their Relaxation Heaven package. This luxurious 2.5-hour package includes an aromatic steam session and cocoon room, a hot towel, foot and back cleanse, an indulgent full body massage, a mini escape facial with scalp massage, all followed up with snooze room relaxation time and refreshments. To be in with a chance of winning this fantastic prize on Friday, simply answer the following question. What is the day after Thanksgiving known as in terms of shopping deals? Is it A, Black Friday, or B, Blue Friday? Text or WhatsApp your answer name and address to 086 60 25,000.
Your one-stop shop this Christmas. Gift vouchers for the Silver Tassie Hotel and Seascape Spa are available online at silvertassiehotel.com or from hotel reception. The Silver Tassie, proud sponsors of today's show.
Ho, 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 ho. Santa Claus speaking.
It's me, Santa, your trusty elf. I've got an urgent message from Cooney's Christmas shop.
Oh, my golly goodness. What's happening at Cooney's?
Well, Santa, they've gone all out this year. Their Christmas decor is bigger and better than ever.
Visit Cooney's Christmas shop, Letterkenny Retail Park, and feel the magic of Christmas. Santa approved.
With our Black Friday sale, get 20% off everything, excluding current offers, and Sunday.
Do you need a UK address? Save hundreds of euros on custom charges shopping online with Space Hub Dairy. We provide a full virtual address mailbox service for all your business and personal use. Save hundreds, possibly thousands, on custom charges with Space Hub Dairy. Call 048 71 87 8077 or online spacehubdairy.com for more details.
The Black Tag event is now on at Curry's. Treat them or treat yourself with a Samsung Series 7 Space Max American-style fridge freezer, now only €1199. Save €350. Or save €200 on the Lenovo 15-inch IdeaPad 3i laptop with Intel Core i7, now $699. Get in-store or online at currys.ie.
New this week in Home Store and More. All Christmas table linen is half price. But better hurry, because when all our half-price Christmas table linen is gone, it's gone. Also, all Casual Living giftware and all Christmas tree lights are still all half price. But when all the half-price Casual Living giftware and all the half-price Christmas tree lights are gone, they're definitely gone. Drop by your local Home Store and More, or visit us online at homestoreandmore.ie. New store now open in Frascati Centre, Blackrock, Dublin. Home Store and More. A happy home.
It's not often you can have the best of both worlds. Imagine a beautiful backdrop, arguably the best in Donegal. Add contemporary Irish cuisine with scrumptious starters, mouth-watering roasts, fresh seafood and delicious desserts. Every Sunday you can enjoy the best of both worlds at the Water's Edge Restaurant, Rathmullen. To book your Sunday lunch, call 074 989 1352.
Auctioneers, estate agents, letting agents and property management agents operating in the Republic of Ireland must hold a PSRA licence. When engaging an agent, don't assume your agent is licensed. Unlicensed operators are breaking the law and put your consumer protection at risk. You can check the PSRA register of licensed agents at psr.ie and report unlicensed operators to info@psr.ie. A message from the Property Services Regulatory Authority.
Highland Radio weather updates brought to you by Grant. From condensing oil and HVO biofuel boilers to heat pumps and underfloor heating, you can trust Grant to heat your home. Visit grant.ie.
The weather forecast for today, let's have a look at that for you. I can tell you that the cloud will gradually break up with sunny spells developing by this afternoon. A cool northerly breeze will mean temperatures will struggle with highs of just 6 to 9 degrees. Just 3 people on trolleys at Letterkenny University Hospital today, which is great news, if not a little bit coincidental, but anyway, good to see. Right, okay, let us talk about now the big car draw. It is back, and Sean Quinn is back in studio to talk about it. It's the Christmas car draw, is that what you call it? It's the big car draw. It's all going to be wrapped up before Christmas, or is it?
Well, it's our Christmas draw, but it's obviously it's the car. This will be our 4th car that we've actually given away over the Christmas period. And today I'm here to launch officially that as of now, you can go on to highlandradio.com and you can buy a ticket.
It's a beautiful looking car. Talk to me about it.
Yeah, so courtesy of DMG Motors, we have gone this year for a Skoda Kamiq. It's a 1.1 TSI. It's a lovely car. It's in grey. It's an SUV. 5 doors, aircon, touchscreen, all mod cons within the cockpit. Beautiful car. As I said, worth over 30,000. Wouldn't that just be nice to win that on the week of Christmas, Greg?
Yeah, fantastic. It is a beaut. Looks really, really modern, of course. And your daytime running lights and all that kind of stuff. It's a real beaut. Right, okay, so you know the score. It's easy to enter if you want to. You can go onto our website, highlandradio.com. You'll see it there on the front page. I'm showing it to those who may be watching on our socials. And it's really, really simple. You simply go to the card, you click in. There's no products in the card yet because I haven't gone down and bought my ticket, which is you have to scroll slightly down. So you can buy a single ticket for £10. You can get two. You can get a free ticket by buying 6 for 50.
Yeah.
Or if you want to buy them out, and this is what I would do, spread them out as presents. You can buy 8. You buy 6 you buy 8, you get 2 free, so you get 10 for 80.
Yeah.
All right.
It works out €8 per ticket when you do it that way.
€8 per ticket if you want to do it that way. Fantastic.
And the great thing is also you can put 8 different names on it as well.
Yeah.
So or 10 names on it. So if you want to gift it for Christmas, then you can put individual names. It's on the right-hand side as you scroll down. And you would then receive every single ticket on your email. So it's important that you have an email address when you're doing it online to enter. And everything will come through to your email instantaneously. When you click the send button, everything will go through.
And of course, if there's any issues in that regard, we're always here, by the way, during office hours. We're always here, though. If there's any uncertainty, you need to check anything, we want to make it as easy for you as possible. But it's perfectly safe, perfect, secure, couldn't be any simpler. So the most you'll pay for a ticket is a £10. You get 6 for 50 or 10 for 80. And of course, we're only inviting those who can afford to and can play with it and have a bit of fun with it to do so. Obviously, for some people, it might not be suitable for you. So it's only for those of you who can afford the €10 punt, and that's the most you'd have to pay. Right, okay, so you go onto our website, highlandradio.com. It's a beautiful car. Run through the car for us again, because people who can't see it won't get it, so we want to describe it for them.
Yeah, so it's a Skoda Kamiq. It's a 1-litre TSI. It's 5-door and has all mod cons, including air conditioning, touchscreen. It's as I said, it's a 5-door. It's got alloy wheels. Yeah. It's a class machine. It's beautiful. It's in metallic grey. We're actually hoping to have it in the shopping centre in the next week or so. So if you're going to Letterkenny Shopping Centre, you'll see it there. You can apply online, where some lucky person will get a call from yourself on the 22nd of December. And as I always say, if you're not in, you can't win.
Yeah, you invented that. I never heard that one before. And just that, by the way, that's going to be a really busy week. Loads of you winning stuff as well, and lots of fun. Shows are going to be out and about the community. We're going to have loads of special guests. We're in that run up to Christmas. We're going to make it really, really special. There's also a small matter of home for Christmas as well. So it's going to be a really fun week as we lead up to Christmas, with lots of fun, lots of crack, lots of giveaways, lots of OBs, and all that type of thing. Right, there's one thing I wanted to mention about this competition. What was it again? Oh, yeah. There's got to be other stuff, is there? You can't reveal it yet. Is there going to be other stuff?
I would say
get your tickets early.
Buy your tickets early. I'm not going to go into, but there's something coming which is going to be brilliant. So I would say if you want to buy a ticket, get in early.
And you'll be in for the other stuff as well.
There is other stuff coming, but I'm just not going to tell you today. But it's going to be well worthwhile because, just buy early.
Yeah, okay. Right, folks, the way this works, it's really, really simple. You buy your tickets online. We print off your number. We put it in the draw drum or the trombola. You can call up to us here at the radio station as well. We'll help you out in that regard, or give us a call. We'll sort you out one way or other. But all of the tickets physically go in, and then you watch the show and you see the ticket being pulled out. It couldn't be any clearer, any more transparent, or any simpler. And we're going to have the car, of course, and other stuff, so stay tuned for that. So if you want to treat yourself or get a gift for someone else, one ticket for this car, €10. You can get 6 for 50 or 10 for 80. You can individualise those, and there's been a lovely mix shown with various competitions that we've done where the person themselves have won, or someone that they've nominated as won. It's all mixed in, and it's always a local winner as well. Listen, You see some of these competitions elsewhere where multiples of over 100, 200,000 people enter. You don't know where the prize is going. This is on a different scale. You're in with a chance. Do you know what I mean? And they've all been won locally as well too. Yep. Not that matters, but for some people it might matter, and I think it's important. This is for us here. You know what I mean? This is for us to have fun with.
Absolutely, and you're 100% what you said there. They've all been won locally. And there's a certain area which is probably a bit luckier than others, but heading towards the show on the right hand side. But yeah, so if you're in Ballybofey, Donegal Town, Killybegs, Guido, or wherever you are, it's your turn. It's your turn.
You'll hear more about it, of course. We've just officially launched it there. It's the car draw. It's a beauty. And you can enter right now on our website, highlandradio.com. You'll see the link there. Or give us a call if you need some assistance, 07491 25,000. Or if you wish... though we prefer you to do it online, of course, but if you wish to call in, we can sort you out there as well. Sean, thanks very much for your time.
Thanks, Greg.
All right, best of luck. Back after the break with the news headlines.
The 9 till Noon Show with the multi-award-winning Silver Tassie Hotel. Planning dream weddings for generations. Email weddings at silvertassiehotel.ie for a brochure or your private show around.
It's your local sports club, but it's much more than that. It's a social hub, a source of community pride, a place to get passionate about. Texaco Support for Sport awards €5,000 to a sports club in every county. That's any sport, every county. All you need is a valid games and sports exemption number and a lot of passion. Enter before 31st of January 2024 and make your club a star. For more info, terms and conditions, see texacosupportforsport.com.
If you're a fairy like me, you'll love the new M&S Light Up Christmas tins because they're shaped like little houses and trees that actually light up. Perfect for my fairy Christmas parties. But look, don't worry if you're a human being, you'll love them too because they're filled with irresistible Scottish shortbread, chocolate chip cookies, Swiss chocolate truffles, hot chocolate or luxury gold tea. These are not just tins. No, these are M&S Light Up Christmas tins. Tremendous gifts for fairies and humans alike. Subject to availability, selected stores.
Mr. Blue Sky. The Euro Millions jackpot is an estimated €75 million. Play responsibly in-store, in-app or at lottery.ie. The National Lottery. It could be you.
Let Caffrey prepare you for a rewarding career in the food and drink sector. Apply to study an innovative degree course at Loughry, Caffrey's specialist food-focused campus. At Caffrey, you will develop the scientific knowledge and technical skills to tackle global food production challenges. You'll also establish valuable industry connections. Apply now through UCAS. Visit cafre.se.uk and discover food degree courses.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Late Late Toy Show. But wait, Eclipse Cinemas Lifford Strabane are offering kids take-home popcorn trays with sealed homemade popcorn, drinks and sweets, plus other take-home cinematic treats. Pre-order yours via messenger, email or by calling Eclipse Cinemas Lifford Strabane.
Black Friday week at Sony Centre, Letterkenny. The best deals on Sony TVs, soundbars, cameras, Bluetooth speakers and headphones. Sony Centre, Letterkenny, the destination for Sony in the Northwest.
RSVP Country Magazine Bumper Christmas Edition, packed full of fantastic features and some of Ireland's biggest performers. Daniel O'Donnell shares his excitement around his new album and fills us in on his Christmas plans. We catch up with the Wolf Tones following their phenomenal performance at Electric Picnic, and the Tumbling Paddies reflect on their 2023 success and what's next for the group. Plus your chance to win tickets to see Michael English New Year's Night with overnight stay for two at the Woodford Stallman Hotel Carlow. RSVP Country, on sale now at all usual newsagents.
And now, IMRO's 2023 Best Local or Regional News Programme, The Voice of the Northwest, the 9 till Noon Show, with Greg Hughes.
Okay, we have another hour to come on the programme, but at 11 o'clock, let's take a news update and cross over now to Donna Marie Doherty.
Thanks, Greg. Good morning.
The Minister for Health, Stephen Donnelly, is visiting Letterkenny today. This morning, the Minister turned the first sod at the site of the new Letterkenny Community Hospital on Kilmacrennan Road and met with GPs and consultants who wrote to him, outlining concerns for safety and well-being of their patients, particularly in Letterkenny University Hospital Emergency Department. Speaking to Greg Hughes on the 9 till noon show, Minister Donnelly says he's here to challenge the relentless negativity surrounding healthcare discussions in the county. A Castlefin councillor says more must be done for those who earn too much to qualify for social housing, but not enough to qualify for a mortgage. Councillor Gary Doherty says those who fall into this category are stuck in a cycle of hopelessness. At present, Donegal does not qualify for the Local Authority Affordable Purchase Scheme, something Councillor Doherty disagrees with. Police in Derry are investigating a burglary within the area of Drumlech Gardens in the city. It is believed to have occurred between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. on Wednesday last. Those who noticed any suspicious activity or vehicles in the area or have any information relating to this matter are asked to contact 101. Nightly road closures that were in place along the L1551 and from Clonmany Fireplace Centre to St Columbus Church in Strayed have been lifted 3 weeks early. It was closed to see works complete under Uisce Éireann's leakage reduction programme. A traffic light system will be in place for the foreseeable future until the remaining works are completed. And finally, the festive season is set to get underway in Derry this evening at 6:30 and in Strabane tomorrow from 5 o'clock. There will be some delays to traffic for the duration of both parades, which are estimated to last 1 hour. Additional time should be considered for journeys, and those not wishing to attend the events may consider an alternative route. Parades, routes and further information can be found on our website highlandradio.com. That's the latest from Highland Radio News. The next news update will be 12 o'clock. Until then, good morning.
All right, Donna Marie, thank you very much indeed. Okay, we're going to ease off the pedal a little in terms of all the serious stuff and move into the realm of entertainment. And it's more just to have a chat and a relax, really, isn't it? Relaxing conversation as much as anything else. Stay with us or join us for That's Entertainment coming up after a break.
This Christmas at Super Value, we have great offers to help you share the magic, like Super Value smoked salmon 300 gram half price, selected goodies like Cadbury large bars, Club and 7up 2 litre, and O'Donnell's sharing crisps, any 3 for €4. Plus, get money off vouchers every week on the Real Rewards app too. Share the magic this Christmas with Super Value.
The county's #1 talk show, the 9 till noon show on Highland Radio.
That's Entertainment, and we're joined on the programme today, as we always are, by the ever-present Michael Leddy, writer and blogger. That's a great thing.
Yes, it is. It's great to be here.
Of course, our guest reviewer this week, Mark Doherty, manager of Century Cinema in Letterkenny. Mark, great to have you up. Thanks for calling up.
You're welcome. It's good to be here.
And it's a busy hour, this one. They're all busy, aren't they? But we're also going to be telling you out there about the various Christmas light switch on and events and what's happening across the region as well. So the guys here are giving up kindly of their time as well. Right, okay. I'll start with you, Mark. Shall we start with the cinema? Are we in a good period? What is Christmas seen as do you know the way they release films?
Yeah.
You know, we've got the summer blockbusters. Is Christmas a hot time too, where they hold stuff back or release, or what's the story?
Yeah, they do. They tend to hold them back a wee bit, and then they start to roll them out just before Christmas. And there's always a couple of really big films of the year that they aim for the Christmas market. It's a good time. People are off. They're on holidays. They're looking for things to do. So Christmas is a good time for good family films, and the big ones that they're teeing up for the rest of the year.
I see Hunger Games is back. That's one actually I wouldn't mind going through the earlier ones. I'm not a massive fan of 1, 2, 3 and 4, with the exception of a few. Hunger Games was one of those ones that I enjoyed it because it told a long story over a period of time, and it's back with the ballads of songbirds and snakes.
Yeah, they're taking us back to where President Snow came from. Where did this character come from? Where did he develop from? And he's back as a young guy whose family have fallen on hard times, and he gets this young girl to mentor from a course, where else are you going to be but District 12? So, they're tying it nicely in together, and it shows you where this guy came from, what took this normal human being and twisted him, that he ultimately became this dictator further down the road.
And is the familiar cast back, or if they recast it, or what?
No, recast it, because this is set probably must be maybe 20, 30 years before the first Hunger Games, so it's a completely new cast and new characters there, but as I say, apart from Snow, he's the guy.
So it's a borderline reboot. Probably we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, there's probably a couple more films on it, and they probably put this one out here to see what the reaction was going to be to it. So it seems to be pretty positive so far. Box office on it has been pretty good for a reboot that doesn't have any of the original cast.
Yeah,
on it.
It's trading on the name really, and promos and what have you.
It is.
Are you a Hunger Games fan?
Yes,
Michael.
Yes, I came to the original franchise quite late, but I think they re-released them. I think there was so I think that's when I jumped in. So I got to see like one a night for 3 nights. So that was me seeing them for the first time, and then we had to wait 6 months for the final. The fourth one was part 2 of the third book. So it's a 4-part trilogy. Yeah. It's basically the way to do it. So yeah, it's a reboot without Jennifer Lawrence, and I gave it a thumbs up as well. I saw it on Sunday evening.
Oh, you've actually been to see it, haven't you?
And I like the new cast. And what's important about the Hunger Games movies is it gives you the core concept of, these young people fighting to the death in the arena type scenario. It has that quite early on. That's the hook, and then it makes you care about the characters, and good casting. Jason Schwartzman, Viola Davis, and of course Peter Dinklage, who almost I think steals the movie from Game of Thrones. He's probably best known, but a great performer who can do just anything. As another reviewer said, I was reading, he can raise an eyebrow and it can change the whole meaning of a scene. I love Peter Dinklage. And all those scene stealers add a lot to the new film as well.
Yeah, and scale. I like films with scale. Sometimes in a mood,
Do re mi fa sol. Yeah, I know.
Not that scale. But do you know where you feel like you're watching a big film? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, I sometimes need that. I'm not massive into sort of character-driven films often. I don't mind dipping into them now and again, but sometimes you want an event.
Yeah. Well, then you've got to see Napoleon.
Yeah.
You've got to go see Napoleon.
Right. What's that about? Is it as obvious as it sounds?
Yes, it's as obvious as it sounds. It's that story of Napoleon and where he came from and where he finished. The battle scenes in that are just, the scale of them is just fantastic. It's Ridley Scott at his really, really best, and those epic scenes of battle and conflict. But then he takes it back down again in the other end of the film, the other storyline, which is this love between himself and Josephine. So if you want the epic, if you want the scale, if you want that dramatic, cinematic feeling, Napoleon's your movie.
Yeah, that's out now.
Yeah, out now. It starts today.
All right, okay. Great cast there. So what's the guy? He was in the Joker?
Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix, yeah.
Oh, it's
great actor.
Right?
Great actor.
Huge. It's one of those films too, you'll probably be guessing, is that CGI or is that real? Did they actually do
There's
that?
a bit of both. There has to be.
But nowadays it's getting hard to tell the difference, you see.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, where are you going to get 4,000 or 5,000 horsemen to have a battle?
Are you sure that's CGI?
Well, I'm on the back row there somewhere, I think. And definitely CGI. Definitely.
But as I say, even just watching the trailer here, it's not easy to see.
It's not.
Those lines are blurring a little bit, aren't they, Michael?
Yeah, very much so.
Right, okay, so Napoleon out there, if you want the big screen, big battles, dramatic, with the obviously obligatory love line in there.
Yeah.
That's in the cinemas at the moment. And some of these films, I mean, you could argue, and I'm sure you would, Mark, that, these films were made for the big screen and the big sound, and that's where they should be seen. But then there are some that stand out more so in that category, if that makes sense. And I think these ones are, they're built for a screen that fills a wall.
Of course they are. I mean, they're built for that epic scale. You can't squeeze that film down onto a mobile phone, for example, but you lose all the depth. You lose the characters. You lose the scale of the whole thing. And as I said, that's what you need the big screen for. You need it for that. You need it with the sound kicking on all the way around, that you feel you're right in the middle of it.
Yeah, all right. That's Napoleon and also Hunger Games. The new movie, which is in the cinema at the moment. Do you want to go a little bit more detail into the Hunger Games?
Sure.
I know it was on your list. When I say a little bit more, I do mean a little bit more.
A little bit more, okay. So basically, it takes us back, I think it actually takes us back about 50, 60 years. Donald Sutherland was the bad guy of the original trilogy, okay? And so you have Tom Blythe, I think is his name. And he is taking on the part. And to his considerable credit, as he's a performer I do not know, he really does make Snow his own character. You do... If you were a fan of the trilogy, you'll be locked into your mind. It's, you know, Donald Sutherland is such an amazing performer, but this guy makes the part his own. And then the lady who is the female lead, Rachel Zegler, who was in the West Side Story that was done in 2021, Steven Spielberg's movie. So they're the core characters, and he's mentoring her, and it sets it up really quickly. You find out his backstory, and then the young people arrive in the capital to partake in the, I think they're up to the 4th or 10th. It's the early days of the Hunger Games.
10th.
Yeah, 10th, yeah.
10th one.
So it's the early days of the Hunger Games, and basically he's forced to become her mentor. So you have this guy, and it's sort of the whole thing of what Star Wars did with Darth Vader when it brought out the prequel trilogy back 20-something years ago. Anakin's...
This is the problem with you reviewing films here. You were doing so well.
I was doing so well. But it's going under the skin of the bad guy. It's going under the skin of the bad guy. And I think they've accomplished it very well. I give it something like an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. And it's based on a newer novel.
I wonder if you were watching these, like, say, for instance, an Egypt like me who wants to do the 4-part trilogy. Watch this first and then move on to that, or watch that first. I wonder, are these films made to actually watch after the fact, or are they made maybe?
Oh, I think you start with the first one.
Yeah.
Is this the first one?
No, this would be.
Yeah.
I mean, no, you start with the first.
Chronologically, yeah, I know where you're coming from.
But maybe they're not written.
They're not written that way.
Not written that way, and it's a bit like Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad. You can watch the prequel, which came second, but you're going to miss out on certain things. There's great storytelling when you can go, oh, I now I see why he later becomes like this.
Yeah,
that's the joy of these films.
I realised I never actually really watched it at all, and it might have been my loyalty to Jack Bauer. I started watching some little side piece that I have, 24 Legacy.
Oh,
okay. What do you mean? Did you just get sick in your mouth a little bit? It's not that bad. It's not terrible.
Not that good.
Well, it's 24 though. It's unmistakably 24. If you haven't watched the original series for quite some time, and it's on Disney Plus, thanks Lee for your password. It's on Disney Plus. It is actually really quite okay.
It's quite
all the bits in there that you'd want.
There were elements in it that I liked, but there were elements I didn't like. The hero's brother and the hero's wife, that storyline didn't work for me. And
you have an amazing memory.
One thing,
I watched this before and I didn't even know those people existed. And you're able just to tap straight into.
I know, it's like 5 or 6 years ago. But what I didn't like was, one of the great things about 24 is that it was plot driven and it really hit the ground running.
They just replace his daughter. They're just Jack's daughter.
I know, yeah, well, that's a very good point.
Yeah, that's all they are.
But you had those stories where, you know, the hero is off saving the world, like, and there's bombs exploding. But the show stopped for these conversations where she's in the room with him and she's like, "You're not paying attention to our relationship," and you're like, "Ah, for God's sake, missus,
I know
there's bombs going off.
Leave the man alone.
Leave it till tomorrow. Leave it till tomorrow. I can pretty much guarantee he'll have nothing to do tomorrow. But today is a very busy day. Leave him alone."
I know, but you could have said that all the time. Like, why did Jack Bauer's daughter do stupid things at 8 o'clock in the morning?
Just because she was attacked by one cougar.
Okay.
Just one cougar. That's all. Or mountain lion, or whatever it was.
We're going to take it. But I was going to say cougar in this day and age. I didn't even think of a cat.
Whatever.
Right, okay. We'll be back with more from Michael and Mark after these.
Christmas party nights at the Silver Tassie. Drinks reception, 4-course festive meal, live music by the Logues, Jim Devine, and more power to your elbow. For dates and bookings, call the Silver Tassie Hotel, proud sponsors of today's show.
An bhfuil tú ré le haid dríoch speisialta. An bhfuil tú ré don chíomhre im lá clia. Íhananta níos fuide nuair a chuirtar beocht sa chathair. Agus spirit na féile le brath I ré bhí na nullag. Sulla do sín an chórdamh síos de éilean na bliana uair im lá clia. An áit is fearr le bhead nar a bhúlan an clog am meáníthe. Mar sin, chur cláusir am líon im lá clia. Cur do phleanad le céile níis ag visitdublin.com. Winter in Dublin. Tá dríoch down. Ochar fáil ag fáilte Ireland.
A public service announcement from Donegal County Council. Did you or a family member work in Scotland between 1940 and 1990? Do you have photographs or memories from your time there that you will be willing to share? If so, the Culture Division of Donegal County Council would like your help with an exhibition on the working conditions and types of employment that Donegal men and women found in Scotland. If you have photographs of Donegal people at work in Scotland or a story to tell about your work there, please contact the County Donegal Heritage Office on 07491 72576 or by email to heritage@donegalcoco.ie. Donegal County Council, serving the people and preserving the heritage of Donegal.
Hi, Tommy Bow here. Get in store to check out my new 15 Kings clothing collection, available in premium gents outfitters nationwide and at 15kings.com.
Check out these special offers at Simpson's Supermarket, Letterkenny. There's Lion's Original Tea Bags, 160s, €4. Nicky Toilet Roll 32-pack, €10. Fairlog 10-pack, €12. And there's Neil's Flour 3kg, €3. See our massive range of goodies for the Late Late Toy Show Fest. Plus, we are now taking orders for your Christmas turkey. While there, check out Peggy's Kitchen Cafe for great food, tea and coffee. Only 2 minutes from Letterkenny Hospital. Simpson's Supermarket. Great value every day.
Last Christmas, millions in cash prizes were won by people playing the National Lottery's Christmas scratch cards. This year, you could scratch and win up to €100,000 instantly. Play the National Lottery's range of Christmas scratch cards. The National Lottery. It could be them. Gift responsibly.
Highland Radio time checks with Expressway. Travel Route 32 from Letterkenny to Dublin when you book online and travel for less. Expressway, bringing you the time at
18 minutes past 11. I'm with Michael Eddy. I'm with Mark Doherty. I'm with Morag McCafferty. Good morning, Morag. We're going to start doing a run around of stuff that's coming up for Christmas. How are you getting on, Morag?
Good morning, Agus to Hane, Greg. Everything's going well. Very
Super
busy time
stuff.
ahead, yeah.
Tell us what's happening in Minilek.
Right, okay, so it's the 2nd of December, Saturday afternoon between 1 and 5. There's 25 plus crafters, local homegrown crafters who are fantastic, exceptional at what they do. And the Christmas fair has been running for the guts of 20 years now, so there's always huge support and, huge thanks to everybody that does come along and support the event because it's very magical and it's in a gorgeous part of the Wild Atlantic Way and it's the Christmas lights will be going on, there'll be Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus and lots of fun for the kids, carol singers and mulled wine and loads and loads of crafters, as I say, loads of arts and crafts.
All right, that's in the Minilek Christmas Fair, so you don't have to travel all over the country for a wonderful Christmas shopping experience. It's between 12 and 5 p.m, which is a lovely time of the day, and it's on the 2nd December. Well done, Morag. Thanks very much for your time.
No problem at all.
Take care of yourself. All right, let's go to Dookery and say hello and good morning to Janice Ward. Good morning, Janice.
Good morning, Greg.
Right, tell us what's happening at Dookery Village.
This coming Sunday, the 26th of November, between 1 and 4, Doory is hosting our annual Christmas market. And we've got over 20 stalls booked. There's all sorts of different crafters and we've got a tombola stall with some fantastic prizes. Local businesses have been very generous with the prizes they've given us. We've a raffle there for €100 shopping voucher for Super Value as well. Santa's going to be there and the kids can come and write a letter and post it to Santa and then they can go and visit Santa. So there's lots to do and there's lots to buy there.
And it must cost a fortune to get in, Janice.
No, it's free to get in and there's going to be hot drinks for the stall holders and it's generally going to be a really nice day. The last 2 years we've had a craft fair there the same Sunday every year and they've been a roaring success, so we're hoping that this year is going to follow suit.
I'm not surprised. I'm sure it will. Sounds lovely, Janice. A lovely experience to have close to home but also in a beautiful setting. Take care of yourself.
Thank you.
Bye. Jerry's with us. Hi, Jerry.
How are you doing, Greg?
I am doing fantastic. Now, Christmas lights going on in Ballyar. Tell us more.
Well, I just brought the Christmas lights. Started them about 7 years ago, and I started to do charity work, just take up a donation box, and that's where it started from there. So this is my 4th year now. And it's a very good display, and I do it for local charities like the hospice and Little Angels and things like that. So this year is the hospice and Down syndrome we're doing it for two worthy charities,
And talk us a little bit about the display, what people can see and look at to get themselves right into the Christmas spirit.
Well, there's everything, like yourself. Santa Claus is in there, and Santa Claus will be coming on tomorrow night to open up And it's free to get in. You just make a small donation, €1, €2, it's no problem, and everybody gets a bag of sweets on the way out. And Santa Claus will be there to switch on the lights.
Brilliant stuff. And then people don't. They can come then at later dates as well. When are the lights on after Saturday?
The lights will be on 6 o'clock to 10 every night.
Brilliant.
That's every night then, and it's worthwhile seeing. I know, even just to look at it.
Okay, and you'll not miss it, I would say, if you're in the Ballier area.
I don't think you'll miss it. You won't definitely miss it. Okay. You'll have to take a look, run down yourself.
I'm going to, Jerry. I love lights and anything that gets plugged in, effectively. All right, I'll come down and see you. I promise you that. And it's free to go and enjoy, and you're invited to make a donation that you can afford, and it goes to Donegal Down Syndrome and the Donegal Hospice this year. Fair play to you, Jerry. You enjoy it too, don't you? It takes an awful lot of effort and organisation.
Right, and don't forget.
Go on.
Don't forget to come down. Good luck. Bye bye.
I'll be there, Jerry. Not sure about Saturday, but I'll certainly be there one of the evenings leading up to Christmas. All right. I am starting to get in the mood, Mark. You like Christmas, don't you?
I love Christmas. It's a great bit of fun.
When has it started for you?
Oh, God, it probably started about August.
I like Christmas as well, but I think you need your head looking at.
We started to plan way back then.
What's your favourite Christmas film?
Oh, God. I think any of the Santa Claus. I just think that, or A Wonderful Life. I think probably Wonderful Life has to be right up there. But I do love a good Santa Claus movie. And then of course there's this last number of years I've had to endure Love Actually over and over.
I've so far avoided that and Titanic, and there's a few others as well. I fell victim to The Bodyguard, but you know I've managed to avoid the rest of them. And what's a really good children's Christmas film? Because Hudson's just at the age now whereby he will sit down and enjoy a film. The new Paw Patrol movie, he absolutely adored that, right? Yeah. Or is it the old one? I can't remember which one it was. Yeah. So I would like him to watch a film. We'd like him to watch a film with Santa in. I wonder, it doesn't have to be animated, but what's the best Santa film then for toddlers?
Well, I suppose I'm a wee bit biased this
Bad
year.
Santa?
No, I don't think you could think of the Bad Santa. You might enjoy it after you watch the other one. You enjoyed yourself a few beers and you'll have a good time with the Bad Santa. But I think probably the one I fancy at the moment is they've actually re-released it this year in cinemas, is Santa Claus the movie from 1985 with Dudley Moore. So that I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, so why try to do it better when it's already been done really, really well?
Yeah. You know, everybody wants to have a go at making a Santa Claus movie and just catching that magic at Christmas. And of course, don't forget about Home Alone. Home Alone is another one of those ones that's become synonymous with
I don't want to be teaching him any further bad habits.
But stick to Santa Claus.
All right, okay. Well, Home Alone maybe give it 3 or 4 years, but we'll see. Yeah, Home Alone is just quintessential Christmas, isn't it? Okay. And it's a classic. Actually, maybe Home Alone will be fun because it's all slapstick. Right, we'll give that a go. Yeah. And Michael,
yes.
What about you? You're a bit of a Scrooge. I don't know. You like horror films and Christmas.
I've done that in the past. Good memory. Good memory. In previous years, I've done a Christmas.
Do you remember
marathon.
that stage? You every film you recommended had like adults in school uniforms and all this kind of stuff. Okay. You went through an awful stage. Fionnuala gave you. Yeah, it was just the St. Trinians. There was just
I love those.
Films.
Yeah, they're great fun. Yeah, the originals and the new ones. Yeah. So in previous years, I've watched some darker Christmas films, but then at the same time, when you have the one I think was the highlight for me last year was 1983's A Christmas Story with Darren McGavin and Peter Billingsley, and it's set in the 1940s, and it's it's based on a true story. The book was written, the guy who wrote the book narrates the film, and it's his childhood growing up in America, and it's all about getting this thing, a BB gun, and using psychology to convince his mother that that's the toy that he should get. And it's one of the loveliest, funniest films. And they've actually done a sequel with the same cast. Anyone that was still alive, they did, and the kid growing up. They did it last year in America, and I haven't seen it yet. But A Christmas Story is a wonderful, heartwarming. Wonderful.
My favourite line of the review so far is they did a sequel with any of the cast that's still alive. Yeah. I mean, it's really quite simplistic. Let's go to Carndonagh because they always put on a great show, and this show ain't no different. Pádraig Kelly, Christmas Tree Committee in Carndonagh. Hiya, Pádraig.
Hi, Greg. How are we getting on?
I'm doing fantastic. Sunday, The Diamond, 5:30 p.m. That's the place to be. Talk to us about what's going on. I know it's pretty self-explanatory, but I just want as many people in the area to know about it and to get out and support the great efforts of the committee, because a lot of work goes into this stuff from an early time in the year as well. You're always thinking about it. So what's happening on Sunday, Porrick?
Right, sorry, just before I go to that, could I just say, first of all, it's our 50th anniversary, which is a major milestone.
Congratulations, amazing.
It is amazing. Some of the original committee are still there, which is great. As the years went on, you would have thought maybe this will die when the committee gets older or whatever, but it's actually the opposite. I think the current committee is probably the most vibrant we've ever had. Very proud of the end product they produce and should be very proud of themselves for what they do. Quite rightly, you say, this just doesn't happen in a couple of days or whatever. It starts at the beginning of October with the erection of your over pavement light and checking of lights, miniature trees are erected and so on. Our tree arrives into town then a week beforehand, and then it's all hands to the pump to get that ready for our lighting on Sunday. Now, our tree used to be massive. In fact, one year it had the distinction of being the tallest tree in Ireland at just under 70 feet, which was in 1987. After that, it was decided maybe to reduce the size a bit because it's a bit easier to decorate and make a little bit more spectacular. When I say that, our tree this year is still 40 foot.
Wowzers.
So it's still quite a big tree. Again, as you know yourself, it's probably impossible to go out to a virus tree and get a perfect tree. So a lot of work, including extra branches, will be suspended onto the trunk in the required places. The tree will be draped in a net from top to bottom with lights attached. You will have lighting probably every 3 to 4 inches. So on a 40-foot tree, you're talking there, Greg, of over 10,000 LED lights on this tree.
Right, you might not have the highest tree in the country anymore, but is there a tree in Donegal with more lights than 2,000 lights on it? I don't know. I think you might have another record there in the bag, Porrick.
Well, yeah, there's over 10,000. There's over 10,000 lights on the tree, and it makes it. What it does when the net's draped and the lights are on it, it makes it sort of pretty picture perfect. So,
okay,
you know, a lot of work goes on behind the scenes. Now, as the name will tell you, obviously it's carried on the Christmas tree committee, so the emphasis is very, very much on the tree, but not at the neglect of the rest of the streets. There's about 3,500 metres of over pavement lighting, and there are 28 decorative trees, metal-made trees, mounted in the Diamond to supplement the Christmas tree theme, if you like. Mm-hmm. So the people, the committee should be really, really proud of what's presented. And we'll actually send you a little photograph and a video afterwards.
Fantastic stuff. Okay, brilliant. That's the Karen Donna Christmas tree light switch on. Go on ahead, Padraig.
No, sorry, the switch on is actually at 6 o'clock, but the entertainment with the brass band and
lovely.
The local folk group will start from 5:30, and there'll be kids' entertainment. At 6 o'clock, we have our big switch on. At 6:05, Santa's elves will arrive in town to inspect that everything's okay for the big man to arrive. He will then arrive by fire engine, which is quite spectacular with the searchlight on him and whatever. Even the adults get excited, so you can just imagine.
I love it. I love that stuff. I love it.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
All right.
Brilliant.
Brilliant,
It's very spectacular.
Congratulations on 50 years. It's going to be a cracking weekend, there's no doubt. Get there for 5:30 for the build-up with the big switch on at 6 and all the entertainment.
Yeah. Thanks very much, Greg.
Bye-bye, Porrick. Christmas Tree Committee member Karen Dunne. Good morning to the Aussie Outlaw. Random as stuff. It's random enough that he's commenting. No idea why YouTube recommended this channel to me, but I'm Australia's biggest real YouTuber. All right, good day. Good day, Aussie Outlaw. And good day to Liam Doherty, chair of the Moville Christmas Tree Committee. 26 years you've been at this crack now, Liam. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Greg. Yeah, that's 26 years. We're not at Cairns level yet, but we're getting there.
Yes,
you're
halfway there. You're halfway there, about thereabouts.
Yeah.
And Sunday's the big day as well in beautiful Moville. Tell us what's going on.
Yeah, well, we've kind of an all-day thing this year. We've combined with Moville or St. Eugie's Hall, and they're going to have a cinema club from 2 o'clock, showing Christmas movies and cocoa and stuff for the kids. And it's all free as well. And then we'll have a DJ and stuff in the square from about 4 o'clock. At 5 o'clock, then, similar to Karen, Santa will arrive with the fire engine and stuff on his sleigh, and he does the switch on, and then he goes into his grotto, and all the kids then will receive a free present and make their way through, and the DJ playing throughout, and it kind of goes on to about 8 o'clock. So it's a family fun day for all day, sort of, and it's completely free. So.
All right, okay. And, of course, the main man, Santa, as you said, coming up the town at 5 o'clock on the sled, and he's looking forward to seeing all the lovely children, mummies and daddies, granny and granddads, for this winter wonderland. It sounds like it's going to be a brilliant day, Liam. Number 26, and long may they continue. Thanks so much for sharing it. I'm sure you'll have a big turnout. So you want people to be there. What time ideally?
Well, as I said, the thing starts in St. Eugene's Hall at 2 o'clock, sort of just to make it a day thing. If the kids want to go down and watch a Christmas movie in the cinema club, but they sort of start to gather with us from about 4 o'clock on. The DJ will be there from 4 and countdowns at 5, and then the grotto after that for the presents. So.
Brilliant. All right, enjoy it, Liam. Good man.
All right, thank you.
Take care of yourself. Bye-bye. All right, let's take a quick break.
Watch the show live now on YouTube, Facebook and at highlandradio.com.
Christmas party nights at the Silver Tassie. Drinks reception, 4-course festive meal, live music by the Logues, Jim Devine and more power to your elbow. For dates and bookings, call the Silver Tassie Hotel, proud sponsors of today's show.
Your voice matters and your vote is important. Local authorities are updating the electoral register, and it's your responsibility to ensure that your details are current and correct. Even if you're already registered to vote, now is the time to check and either confirm or update your details by providing your PPSN, air code and date of birth. To have your say on shaping Ireland's future, you must be on the electoral register. Checking is easy. Simply go to checktheregister.ie. The easy way to secure your say. Brought to you by the Government of Ireland.
This Christmas at Super Value, we have great offers to help you share the magic, like Super Value Fresh Irish Housekeeper's Cut, better than half price, and Bailey's, now €10, exclusive to Real Rewards members only. Plus, get money off vouchers every week on the Real Rewards app too. Share the magic this Christmas with Super Value. Enjoy alcohol responsibly. T's and C's apply.
Hiya gang, it's me, Silly Billy from Jack and the Beanstalk, the biggest panto in all the land. I can't wait for you to join me and my friends at the Millennium Forum from the 30th of November until the 31st of December. Book now at millenniumforum.co.uk and start practicing your silly faces. Sponsored by the Richmond Centre.
Santa Claus speaking.
It's me, Santa, your trusty elf. I've got an urgent message from Cooney's Christmas shop.
Oh, my golly goodness. What's happening at Cooney's?
Well, Santa, they've gone all out this year. Their Christmas decor is bigger and better than ever.
Visit Cooney's Christmas shop, Letterkenny Retail Park, and feel the magic of Christmas. Santa approved.
With our Black Friday sale, get 20% off everything, excluding current offers, and Sunday.
At McElhenney's, wishes do come true. You can now create your very own wish list in-store and online at McElhenney's.com. Seen something you love? Like it, love it, heart it. Ladies, start dropping the hints now. Gentlemen, the McElhenney's team are here to help. Don't forget to share your McElhenney's wish list with Santa.
Celebrate the 12 days of M&S exclusively with Sparks and be in with a chance to win €5,000 when you open a door every day. M&S are giving away thousands of free gifts and daily festive offers from the 1st to the 12th of December. Don't miss out. Sign up today with the M&S app. Terms and conditions apply.
Yeah, we're getting a real festive feel going on the programme today. We're in the company of Michael Leddy, writer and blogger, and also Mark Doherty, manager of the Century Cinema in Letterkenny, who very kindly, Mark, has given us an extensive list of every film that's ever been made and is also likely to be released next year. It runs to... close on 78 pages. Thanks very much for that. No one, you're nothing but thorough.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll try and get through one more of those.
Yeah.
All right, bear with us because you know Buncrana, they're always out in front. They're out in front again. You don't have to wait till Saturday. You don't have to wait till Sunday for the Buncrana Christmas lights. My word, all you have to do is turn up tonight. Nicholas Crossan, Imagine Why, how are you getting on?
Goodbye, thanks.
After that intro, I do hope it is tonight you're switching the lights on.
Well, yes.
Oh, thank God for that. Go on.
We have the most anticipated night of the year in Buncrana with the children and the not so youngs as well. We have a fabulous, and I only can say a fabulous display of lights. We have succeeded in beating last year, and I think the people of Buncrana will be surprised because we have tried to keep it under wraps as good as possible. We've different buildings lit up this year. We have the main street, extra lights in the main street, and it's going to be a great night. It's a dry night, and we want everybody to wrap up well and turn up. Santa's on his way, and as usual, it's very, very clear the lights will go on at 7 o'clock. No, not a minute before, not a minute later. At exactly 7 o'clock is our time to do it.
Yeah, this is an annual thing now, Nicholas, where, don't be early, don't be late. But get there early, get a good position. But on the mark of 7 p.m, because it might be coming close to bedtime routines and what have you, the lights will be switched on at 7 p.m.
And then just for everybody's safety as well, Greg, as we say, we're barricading off the market square and the road around it so Santa can go around and talk to all the children that are there. Every child will get to talk to Santa. Just be patient with it. Please go with the stewards. We put an awful lot of planning into this. We thanks on Garda Síochána and the fire brigade that are turning up tonight and they're delivering Santa. And we're very lucky to get Santa because he's very, very busy this time of year. But he's going to be there tonight. So we want the mammies and daddies to stay outside the barriers for everybody's interest and safety, and it will be a fabulous night. I didn't see all the lights myself. It's the best kept secret I've seen. So we want the people to come along to Buncrana any time before 7 o'clock, but be there for 7 o'clock because you're going to get the big, and we have a few wee treats for kids when they come along as well.
All right, great stuff. Thanks, Councillor Nicholas Crossan there. Buncrana Christmas lights going on tonight at 7 p.m. All shook up. If this isn't about or has something to do with Elvis, I'm going to be royally disappointed.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, this is the new LMDG musical production, which is on this week. It's on from Tuesday the 28th to Saturday the 2nd.
What's it about?
And it is loosely based.
Thank you very much.
Loosely based on. This is going to surprise Greg. Are you ready for this, Greg?
Go on.
It's loosely based on Shakespeare's Twelfth Night.
Uh-huh.
You didn't see that coming?
No, I didn't.
You didn't see that coming. This hip-swinging, lip-curling musical fantasy will have you jumping out of your blue suede shoes.
Like it.
With classic hits such as Heartbreak Hotel, Hound Dog, Jailhouse Rock.
Since my baby left me.
And I'm going to ignore a mark. I'm just going to keep talking. I do my best. So the thing about it is, I'm mentioning this, but it's pretty much sold out. I think you need to really get on if you haven't sorted yourself out, I think most of the nights now, maybe later in the week. But so look, tickets are in very, 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 very scarce supply for this. It's going to be a great crack. The shows that they put on are always of a really high standard. Great talented cast. I haven't been involved behind the scenes. Sometimes I'm not a musical person on stage. I don't sing. Whatever my talents are, singing song. But I have been in previous years along for rehearsals and things. I've not this year, so I have no idea what to expect. But I have no doubt that it will be absolutely stellar from beginning to end.
Yeah, next year too. Looking forward to next year cinema releases because people might have been forgiven when they talk about writer's strike and all that kind of stuff that there was going to be some sort of a delay. I'm interested in because I watched Deadpool 2 there not so long ago, and there's a bit during the credits of Deadpool 2 where he uses time hopping to right wrongs or whatever. It's not clear if that's done satirically or for the story progression. I suspect it's just messing about with Logan and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, Deadpool 3, that's going to be huge. Anything else that you want to pick out there?
Oh, I'm looking forward to Dune. I'm really looking forward to Dune.
I haven't seen Dune Part 1, so that's another one that's...
Well, that was a book I read.
Yeah.
So I'm dying. This is where the action really kicks in. This is where the fighting starts, the battle starts. I'm really looking forward to that. You know, you were saying you like a film on an epic scale. This should be it. This should be one to look out for next year, with these fantastic battle scenes and scenery. So I'm looking forward to seeing Dune. I'm looking forward to that. Some great kids' films running around, Kung Fu Panda, Inside Out, stuff like that. And then Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Myself and Michael were talking about it. He's looking forward to that.
I know, but Gladiator 2.
Yes, that's much later in the year. So again, I'm looking for that. Ridley Scott and, of course, Paul Mescal on it. And he plays Lucius. So he's a grown-up Lucius.
Denzel Washington, too.
Yeah.
Never seen him in a bad film. I've said it
Yeah.
before.
So
I'll
that
say
could be
it
an
again.
epic as well. Some good
Oh, it
ones
should
there.
be, it
And,
will be, it will be,
particularly later in the year.
Yeah,
Very
okay.
much so
Exciting
later in the year.
times.
so
All right,
very
we'll
good.
get to more of that anon, because we're sharing our time today because we're gracious people with Nicola Mahan, who's a member of the Calais Community Park and Tidy Towns Committee. Nicola, good morning to you.
Hello. Good morning, Greg.
Okay, Sunday, is it Sunday week? I'm terrible when we're crossing when we're crossing a month. So it is Sunday the 3rd of December at 5:30 p.m. What's going to be happening in Calais?
Well, it's a wee bit low key this year because we're at the finishing stages of the community hub and money's tight. But we have Santa arriving to switch on the Christmas tree lights, and he will be giving all the children a gift. And we will have the children singing and dancing too for us. So it should be a lovely wee evening out. So that's next Sunday the 3rd at 5:30.
Beautiful. Just after the sun has set as well. Nice dot, but not too late either. One for all the family. Nicola, thank you very much indeed. Santa in the Community Park in Calais, Sunday the 3rd of December at 5:30 p.m. Let's go to Alia Football Club's chair, Stephen O'Donnell. Good morning to you, Stephen.
Morning, Greg. How are you?
I'm doing good. Right. What's happening in Burnfoot then?
Well, we're doing what we take Santa on a tour of the parish every Christmas. So this is happening on the following Sunday, Sunday the 10th of December. And what we do is we start off at the Alia Football Club clubhouse, and then we have stops then. We take Santa and he goes and he stops at Inch Island there at the brig. He moves on down then to Fawn. Stops down there at the bottom of the church brae where the big Christmas tree is. And then we go to the halfway house, stop here for Tubin, go on to Bridgend, round to Burt, and finish up back in Burnfoot.
Brilliant idea for those who maybe, can't get to where Santa is. I don't know how you secured this deal with him anyway, Stephen, but I think maybe because you've left it another week, he's got maybe a little bit of downtime, but you're bringing him around the community.
We take him around the community. It's kind of kicked off this kind of post-COVID. I think the first year after COVID, we didn't really want to have large gatherings. So we came up with this as an alternative, and we stopped in the different areas. And if there's any kids that kind of are seriously ill, we kind of go round to them as well. And then maybe an odd club member who's done something exceptional throughout the year, Santa make a wee presentation to them. But at every stop, we have a gift for the kids at every single stop. And to be fair to some of the local businesses have always fallen in behind. They've always helped to kind of alleviate the cost of it a wee bit.
And at that time of year, Stephen, is Santa? Is he patient? Is he a bit crabbed? Is he hard work behind the scenes, or what's the story?
Santa's good every day of the week, Greg. He's always good.
You're only saying that because you don't want to be on the naughty list, Stephen. I know.
Well, I have to try. I'm trying to make it up. I've been on the naughty list all year. I'm trying to push hard in the last couple of weeks.
That's it. Leave the hard slog for the last couple of weeks. Well done, Stephen. You're on the good list. Chair of Alia Football Club. Lovely initiative. Thank you. Is there information of the stops on your Facebook page or internet or anything, Stephen?
It will be. It hasn't been published yet, but we always put it on.
So mark the diary for Sunday the 10th and then have a look back.
Sunday the 10th, starting at 6 o'clock, and we will. It'll be on our Facebook page, and we will have notification into the local schools. But it's available to all the children in our parish, not just ones that are members of Alia Football Club.
Stay good, Stephen. Thanks very much for that.
The 9 till noon show with the Silver Tassie Hotel. The perfect venue for a Christmas get-together, serving festive lunch, afternoon tea, dinner and drinks throughout December. Follow Silver Tassie Hotel on Facebook and Instagram.
At the Central Statistics Office, we're trusted to gather all sorts of information. So, we count exports, imports, airports and seaports. We count schools, pools and how many O'Tools? We count emissions, permissions and social conditions. We count beds, sheds and newlyweds. We count families, growing trees and diversity. Because this data informs important decisions on everything from economic activity to housing policy to what to call a new baby. And we can't do it without you. CSO. Count on us. We count on you.
The Black Tag event is now on at Curry's. Treat them or treat yourself with the Sony PlayStation 5 disc version, now $449. Save €100. Or save €70 on the Meta Quest 2 VR gaming headset with 128GB storage, now only $299. Check out our great bundles in-store and online at currys.ie.
The move to electric is on, with Kia powering ahead in electric vehicle technology. Take the stylish Kia Niro EV, the multi-award winning EV6, or the all-new EV9 with space for up to 7 people. Order your 241 model now to avail of flexible finance options, a free home charger, and a €500 super value gift card. T's and C's apply.
Visit Hearn Auto, Donegal Town for your 241 Kia.
Do you need a UK address? Save hundreds of euros on custom charges shopping online with Space Hub Dairy. We provide a full virtual address mailbox service for all your business and personal use. Save hundreds, possibly thousands, on custom charges with Space Hub Dairy. Call 048 71 87 8077 or online spacehubdairy.com for more details.
Donegal Local Development Company is hosting a showcase event celebrating Donegal businesses in the Central Hotel, Donegal Town on Friday the 24th of November from 1 to 7 p.m. This event is free to attend and features the best local startup businesses. Find your perfect Christmas gift, perfect tradesman, beauty product or outdoor adventure and much, much more, all in one place. Come along and support your local businesses and find out what's newly available in your area on a day that's guaranteed to be fun for all. Make celebrating Donegal businesses your business on November 24th. For more, visit dldc.org.
Highland Radio weather updates brought to you by Grant. From condensing oil and HVO biofuel boilers to heat pumps and underfloor heating, you can trust Grant to heat your home. Visit grant.ie.
All right, now cloud will gradually break up with sunny spells developing by this afternoon. A cool northerly breeze, which will mean temperatures will struggle with highs of just 6 or 9 degrees. And would you mind? Would you look what the cat dragged in? Tony Fanula Rabbit, the MD or CEO of Highland Radio and president of Letterkenny Chamber.
I know.
Good morning to you.
Good morning to you too.
Okay, Letterkenny Christmas lights are being switched on Sunday. Tell us more.
Absolutely. I was getting so jealous when I kept hearing of all the other fantastic events that are on this weekend in Donegal. Who says Santa has nothing to do until Christmas Eve? He's going to be wrecked.
It's a bit like you, actually, all over the place.
I know. It's a good job he's magic, because he definitely is going to need it to get absolutely everywhere that he's going. So we have the Chamber are hosting the lighting of the Christmas lights here in Letterkenny on Sunday. 5:30 get together, 6 o'clock start. We've got our own Keith Fletcher in charge of the festivities.
I don't want that to, don't let that put you off. You're going to have a great time. Get along there at 5:30 and enjoy.
Have you seen the suit yet?
Oh, I
What suit
know.
is he wearing this year?
I don't know. He has
all we know is going to be festive. I think we know it's going to be festive.
Normally he unveils his outfit earlier in the year or earlier in the month before the thing comes. But we haven't seen it yet now. So this particular outfit could be phenomenal.
It's always something to see.
Exactly. It's always an exciting time. So we have the Pine Hill Studio dancers. We have the local pipe band are going to be there. We have singer Callum Keaveney is going to be entertaining everybody with some carols and songs. If anybody was there last year, they know that it was a great night. The kids really enjoyed it. We usually manage to, talk to the people in charge, and we get a kind of bit of snow going and all this kind of thing, really just to get the atmosphere going. So everybody should just get your Christmas jumpers out, get yourself ready, get your hats, get all together, and we will see you at the Market Square at 6 o'clock on Sunday.
Yeah, okay. And you must be excited. Your trombola's coming back.
I know. I'm very excited. We just launched all of our
Colouring competitions coming back.
I know. It's very good. I'm just a little bit gutted now because I'm not going to be around myself for it, because I'm going to be away for a few weeks. So I won't be up in Letterkenny. I just had a little bit of a health issue that I needed to get sorted, and that will be done in December. And my new grandbaby is coming, which is very exciting. So I'm going to be in Galway, so I won't be... sadly won't be up in Letterkenny for all of these exciting times.
Go away, get your NCT.
Yeah, that's it.
And then come back and annoy us in January.
I know, we'll be back in January in full form, but I look forward to being sent all of the colouring competitions.
Oh yeah, you're not like letting go of this. There was a big conversation at the management recently, meeting recently about getting together the prizes, because that's a big thing. Fanula loves is all the prizes for the competition, and she's still going to do it even though she's not going to be here.
I'm going I'm going to Smith's this afternoon with my
you're
trolley.
actually going to go down?
No, I totally am.
Because you did threaten online.
I know. I don't. I know. I can't. No, I can't do it online. I'm going to have to call down there to. I just love walking around it, and I just like to. I like to fit. You know when you do your Christmas grocery shop. And it's like overflowing.
Yes.
I like to do that, but in Smith's.
I'm just going to inhale.
I don't really want to do it at the Christmas. I just like to do it in
I'm
Smith's.
going to inhale Christmas this year. I'm just going to eat everything. So.
Oh, I know. But you're so lucky now as well because you have Hudson and it's going to be so exciting. It's nothing nicer
and maybe
than
another year till the penny drops because I'm trying to push the Santa thing, and you know what I mean. And it'll all happen.
I know. But once everything is
when Santa comes, if he's good,
if he's good,
I have no scarring on my face for the first time in quite some time, so I'm doing all right. Okay, that's fantastic. Finette, stay where you are. You might as well see out the rest of the hour. I want to go to our own Rory Farrell as well. Good morning to you, Rory.
Morning, Greg. Morning, Fanula. How are you, everybody?
Doing fantastic. Right, let's fast forward and not rewind to Sunday the 26th at 3:30 p.m. What's happening?
Yeah, Sunday the 26th, the lights have been turned on in the Twin Towns, so things will be kicking off around 3-ish. There's going to be Christmas markets. There's going to be a Christmas parade. I'm going to be up there on the stage as well. I'm going to wait until tonight. I want to see what Kilty does on the toy show, and I'm going to sort of get some information. So I don't actually know what I'm going to wear yet. So I'm going to try and get some inspiration from him and see what he does. And does anybody have a Christmas hat I could borrow, by the way? I'm having real trouble getting my hands on a Santa hat.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Right, I'm surprised at that. They're all over the place. Well, if anyone knows where this Christmas hat's available in and around
I'm just going to put it out there, right? If anyone wants to bring one along on Sunday, absolutely bring it along.
Are you looking for someone to sponsor your Christmas hat, you tight git?
Well, you're looking at night as well.
Right, hey, it's an opportunity. I get you.
I'm not getting into this with you now on the radio.
I know. And come here, Ballybofey lends itself well. Ballybofey strollers well, of course, because there's great access around it. And we have a hat.
Exactly.
We have a hat. Rory, we have a hat for you. When is it? Sunday, so you can pick it up tomorrow. It's already done. The power of radio. All right, you've got a hat, so don't worry about that. It'll be here for you tomorrow. How's that?
Great stuff.
All right, okay.
We're looking forward to seeing everybody. Yeah, everybody in the car park, and Santa, of course, will be with us as well, with his reindeer in tow. So we're really looking forward to seeing everybody. It's going to be, as always, a great event in the Twin.
Super stuff, and a great MC on the night or on the afternoon, evening as well. Thanks, Rory. That's Rory Farrell. He's on with you tomorrow for Rewind, of course. So that's it. Yeah, we've done. You can't say we've left anyone out. We asked people to get in contact with us. They're having great numbers, Mark. So is Kevin Bridges in the cinema?
He was on last weekend.
What is that? Is that one of these CCTV jobs? Is it?
No, it was recorded in, I believe, July or August in Cork. When he performed down there. He was very good, and then he did a sort of 10-minute piece exclusively for Cinemas as well.
Wow.
So I enjoyed that.
Is that going to be a big thing going forward? We've seen the Westlife and what have you do the simulcasts.
You're going to see much more of that next year. You're going to see an awful lot of concerts, an awful lot of gigs, an awful lot of comedians, an awful lot of plays that are going to be broadcast live for one night only. They'll do it one night, maybe two nights, and then away they go. Well, Taylor Swift in the last 3 or 4 weeks, I mean, concert onto the cinemas, and that was just phenomenal.
Shake it up.
But it's great to see even that you see the opera and
Caroline,
the
can I have the competition winners, please?
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Caroline?
It's great to see
competition winners, please.
I've been down to see a couple of plays.
Yeah, some of them were very good.
Joan of Arc.
Yeah. Oh, I saw the National Theatre in
and Andrew Rouge coming this Christmas.
Oh, wow.
A wee bit of fluffy skirts and all that fluffy skirts.
Right, can I do a little bit of housework and then I'll come back to you? Because thanks to our friends at Kelly's Centre at the Mountaintop, you know they're getting ready for Santa season and have been celebrating the community. They do it all year round, but particularly for Christmas. And they're working with Little Angels and raising funds over the festive season. They have a number of giveaways in store and across their social media. Golden tickets in store, discounts and a grand prize. And you may see them out and about with a very special guest. And we asked a question today, what colour are sapphires? Clearly, at this point, any effort to come up with questions has just been forgone now at this point. What colour are sapphires? It was what colour are emeralds the other day. What's the relevance? I don't know. But anyway, they are blue. And Anthony Walsh in Letterkenny, you have won a €250 voucher for Circle K. Well done to you. And a big prize that was being run thanks to our brilliant friends at the Silver Tassie Hotel and Seascape Spa. They have given away a relaxation Heaven package. It's a luxurious 2.5 spa package that you can book yourself for a bit of self-love. Don't get me wrong, that's been running all week. Hundreds upon hundreds of you entered. The winner of that 2.5 hour spa is Jacinta McCarran from Dumfries, Clonmany. Congratulations, Jacinta. You correctly answered the question, it being Black Friday. I can't recall the question, but that's besides the point. And you're the winner. So thank you to the Silver Tassie. I've plugged them left, right and centre. And did I get offered a free package?
No massage for you.
Almost enough. Full body. I've never had a full body. I'm sure it's fantastic and I will pay for it. I'm sure it'll be fantastic. Anyway, that's a joke, by the way, because it's been a funny year for complimentary things. So let me emphasise
Particularly people in your position.
Yeah, exactly. In my position, in front of a mic, but that's the only thing we have. That's the only thing we have in common. So, Fionnuala, we're not going to hear from you. Well, we'll hear from you here and there, but we wish you all the best down in Galway for to get yourself back to 100%, and also the best of luck with the new arrival. You will never get a better Christmas present.
I know. I'm looking forward to it now, being granny for the first time, so I'm leaning into that now while I'm going through the other thing. But no, I want to wish everybody a very happy Christmas and enjoy the celebrations and enjoy tuning into Highland and all the fantastic prizes and gifts. The team here have a lot of big plans that are coming out. Sean only just touched on it there. I'm putting you in charge of Sean because he would give away the kitchen sink if I let him go. So you're in charge of the kitchen sink. You're in charge of making sure that we still have a chairs left, and he hasn't thrown it in as a prize over the next few weeks, because it's very exciting, all the stuff that we have in place for people. So just want to wish all the listeners have a fantastic, safe, happy Christmas, and see you all in the new year. And as always, thank everybody for all their support.
And we wish you lots of love and support. You're very highly thought of around here, and I'm sure by our listeners as well, Fionnuala. So we can't wait to have you back on Monday. I'm indifferent to you returning next Friday, Michael, but you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Thank you so very much, Michael, as always, for being great fun and also sharing your time with the various committees and festivals around the place. And Mark as well, Mark Doherty, manager of Century Cinema, Letterkenny. There's something for everyone on down there, and continued success with your expansion. And it's go, isn't it? All right, folks, have a lovely weekend. Have a lovely weekend. There's still, I think, a ticket or two available for DV's ball tonight in the Mount Erical, by the way. So if you want a night out, I'd highly recommend that. I'll see you there. Have a lovely one, folks. Bye-bye.
Your one-stop shop this Christmas. Gift vouchers for the Silver Tassie Hotel and Seascape Spa are